What is going on, everyone? Jacko here, coming to you from sunny Cardiff, Wales, bringing you some FFTCG action. Before we get into that, let me introduce my co-host. He is the fish to my chips. Fish, how are you feeling today?
Mate, it's going to be a good night. We've got Final Fantasy Fight Night. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, something a bit new for us. I think a lot of success of the stream we did for the recent Materia Cup. A lot of people showed us a lot of love, wanting to see some action, wanting to see some regular gameplay. So hopefully bringing you all of those goodies tonight. What can we expect from round one then, Fish?
Well, we've got one of our top cuts, number 2 himself, James Kiddie versus Jenny. Well, we've got some sort of Pauper Summoners list versus Earth Ice.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how things pan out with that. So we've got a few things getting set up, pairing still going live and that. So we've got a bit of downtime, so we can bit of a preamble from us. So I've had a few weeks off from the Materia Cup, taking a bit of a break from the game. Fish, how have you been doing?
Yeah, to be honest, took a couple of weeks myself. I was down here for a bit, played an interesting cost 3 with Exdeath sort of decks, but there's some interesting things going around. I've seen Morgan running what can only be described as a Turk version of FF13. Yeah, we got a lot of testing still going on because people are still going for tournaments.
I think people are testing a lot of new things. I think with Materia Cup now done, people have had their big competitive scene for at least the interim. I know a lot of us aren't really travelling around for many of the store championships. I think there's a lot of money that goes into that. So yeah, some people are still on Soirees. I think we had a Soiree list win last week. Shout out to Taylor though. So I played Taylor final round last week. Taylor's one of our new players. Him and Jacob have been a nice breath of fresh air we've had. We've had a lot of new players join us. And yeah, getting his first win at locals, so fair play to Taylor.
I heard he stomped you, bro.
He did. It wasn't even close in the final round. He made me look very silly. Do you know what the best thing was? So I was playing my 3-colour Ice and Lightning deck, and I built that deck to beat Soiree. And I beat everything but Soiree last week. I came against Soiree and just crumbled.
Now, if we could put the definition of irony on the screen, we probably would.
I know. But yeah, I was absolutely chuffed with Taylor though. And people think, just winning a locals, but it's competitive locals here. We regularly have 20 plus people. I'd say even half the room's probably made a top cut at some point in time. So yeah, Taylor, shout out to him. Hopefully, maybe if he pulls it up again this week, maybe we'll see him on stream later. We will see. So let's see if we can get over to table cam. I think we're hoping to get things going and get things live soon. Just getting handed back a card that someone stole with a filthy Zidane earlier in the preamble, and returning my cards back to me. Cool. So yeah, we're live on table cam now. Looks like both players getting ready to draw.
And with full disclosure, we'll be on the roller coaster with you guys. We only know sort of deck names and who's playing, so we'll see what they're playing as and when we get to it.
Cool, so looks like the round timer has started. So yeah, James Kiddie going for a Ice Earth build. Looks like he's got the play. So I think James is keen to try and test out a few new decks now that he knows he's going to be coming up to Euros later down the line. So going double backup, double crystals.
Straight away, yeah. With crystal side of things, we know he's got the Shantato for later retrieval.
Yeah, I think he may be running both copies of Shantato in this. So yeah, we'll see. I think I've struggled with this Ice Earth deck, if I'm honest. Don't always see backups, but James has just shown me exactly how it's done, curving really nicely there. So hello to everyone joining us in the chat. We've got a few of you here already. Turtle Sage, Dale, who's James Kiddie's #1 fan.
Always #1 fan. His first comment as always, because he knew Kiddie was playing. Again, I'm interested to see what Jenny's going to be playing here, because apparently it's on the sort of pauper end of the summoners type of spectrum.
I think, is that Noreen that she's gone to search?
Or Rosa, perhaps.
Is that Rosa?
Simon joining us in the chat.
Hey. Sorry you couldn't make it down this week. Hopefully we'll catch you next week. So yeah, I think she searched the Noreen there, which I think is the 3CP water forward. That when you play a princess or something, or princess, and you get to draw a card to, maybe she's gone for that as the draw engine.
Well, yeah, she's already got the Aurelia down, so that covers the princess act.
Yeah, I think James got a Scale Toad down here. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see Scale Toad and pass.
Yeah, just add on the pressure. Really.
Yeah, 3 backups is the absolute sweet spot for this Ice Earth deck. It means you can play your Shantotos on curve. I don't know if this deck's playing Tyro, so I think this is a similar list to one that went top 4 in. Ooh, okay, Alice.
Oh.
God, we're gonna have to get this card up. So this is a
one of the dual horns. Interesting.
This is a dual horn summoner. Yeah. So this is the one that comes in dull.
So my expectation would be she'd probably playing Sanctuary Keeper along with this, maybe for the extra reactivation. But
yeah, so I think this is the Noreen that I think gets a buff because she has summoners. And she's using the Ash to activate that Alice. Lovely little play from Jenny here.
Now we know that it's not going to activate when she attacks next time, but it's going to allow her to put that pressure on.
Yeah, let's get that card up so we can see, because I know this. I'm pretty sure this card has an on-attack trigger. So I think. So have we got a Roble or something coming down here to deal with? So yeah, so this is
completely called it is the Roble.
Is it? Yeah. So probably going to take out this Alice. So I just got this card up now. So this is a card that when it enters the field, it enters dull and does not activate during your active phase. But when it does attack, you can select one forward your opponent controls and put it in the break zone. So just in time for that card to hit the break zone, we get it up on the screen.
Still some teething problems tech-wise, guys, but hopefully we'll be a bit smoother as we go along.
So this is really nice setup here from James. Yeah. He's got Bib Loss,
making the discard straight away.
Yeah, and this thing, he doesn't need to. The Larky, I don't think he's got any good targets. He's got his monsters on board.
I do think if he did, yeah, there we go. He's remembered the trigger now.
Yeah, so he's getting the dog free. So it is Noreen that Jenny's playing. So that's a 3CP 7k. You control a Job Princess, she gains 2k. And when a Job Princess enters the field, you draw a card that only triggers once per turn. So nice little setup from James. I was having a chat with him about this deck in the lead up to locals today, and how actually, it's one of the decks where you don't need to be the aggressor. You kind of want to get slapped up and beaten up a bit, get yourself to damage 3, get that Bib Loss online.
I also believe you always used to take this sort of deck to 6 damage. Am I right, Jacko?
There is no greater feeling than coming back from 6-0 to win, but at the same time, it's not good for my heart. Too many games living on the edge. Okay, so it looks like she's got a nice counter for the Dull Freeze with that Ash, so that Ash being able to bounce back to your hand and then you can replay it activating forward. So looks like we're getting the Arcanist here with the Roble. So I think we just empty Jenny's hand in the driving seat. Yes, your Ash is getting activations, but it's only on your turn. Ooh, and hitting
Sildra, the first hit,
that is a fine hit.
It's going to slow Jenny down somewhat, because without that Sildra, it's going to stop her getting the rest of her forwards to help her front line.
The Arcanist coming down on curve there as well is nice.
Oh, just nice.
Yeah. Although I don't know how effective this is, although Arcanist is pretty effective right now with all those 3 CPs down on Jenny's board.
Yeah, well, although Jenny is going to be getting back to Sildra using the
Garnet, yeah, she's thinking about it. I feel like you do get the Sildra here.
Yeah.
And you got to cast it, because if you wait, you discard from the Scale Toad, and then Leska just rips the last card from your hand. So if you're going to use Sildra, you got to use it now and try and get some sort of value out of it.
Yeah, you're hoping she probably pulls a 2-drop here, because she's still going to have to discard for Scale Toad at end of turn otherwise.
Yeah. I can see. I think she's got a sneaky little marquee in there as well, which is the other dual horn.
Yeah,
that goes
bring back the Alice,
Okay, so let's see what she. Essentially, you got to grab something to play. Yeah, so you grab the Alice and you grab some water thing that you're not worried about in this matchup.
At this point, probably a water backup off.
Yeah, a copy of Yuna is probably ideal here. Yuna or Avelia, because you got both on board already.
Oh no.
Okay, so she's getting the marquee. I wonder if she wants that in her break zone or something.
I can't see why though. Like tap that unless
And
she's.
then she's now going to do the Ash effect. So Ash goes back to hand.
Okay.
It kind of puts you in a bit of a tricky situation now because I don't know. I can't remember if that Ash is compulsory or not, if it's optional. Because I feel like if it's optional, I feel like you want to leave it on board because now.
So do you think perhaps the extra draw there is to?
No, I see what it is. So I didn't realise this. The Ash is a job princess, so she gets a draw off the Marine. So that's how she's curved it. Oh, that's really nice from Jenny. Nice play around getting that Ash effect off, and also making sure that she's not got any discard fodder for James to gobble up with his Unalesca.
Well, you've got to expect Water having a lot of EX bursts anyway, so she's probably fine to be taking a few points of damage.
Yeah, James getting so much value out of that robot at the moment. That draws, and I think this is the thing. He's now empty-handed. I think we'll probably see Phasalis come slap down here, pale over the deck. Okay, YKT.
Just gonna
get a hard break on that Noreen, trying to get rid of her draw engine, stop her drawing constantly with this Ash. Looks like James, I think he's changing his mind. I think he's worried about this Alice. So he's sticking with the Marine.
I think he probably picked the right choice there, because if he just gets rid of the Alice, there's so many ways to bring her back.
Now we see the Phasalis. Getting both effects, got that dog freeze, get a draw.
Yummy.
Oh, so good.
One of Jacko's favourite cards.
It is one of the best ice cards we've had for a while. Garnet's a pretty dead draw for Jenny right now because you got already got one on board and it's been dog frozen. Yeah, Alice is technically dog frozen as well because she can't activate.
Well, I'm assuming that she's going to be trying to do that with the Ash at some point during this turn.
And she just draws the Marine.
Another Marine.
She draws the Marine. So now she's got that engine back with the Marine and the Ash, bouncing the Ash.
She's just going to... Oh, it's just a Sarah as well, so that's fine.
Cool. And now she's getting the Alice. So now when she attacks with the Alice...
She didn't attack.
Okay. I feel like you need to be getting rid of either Phasalis or Robo here because Unalesca's going to get rid of that last card. Then Phasalis is going to be coming down for both effects. And Kitty's drawing 3 cards to turn while Robo's on the board.
And he's going to punish that 1 card left in Jenny's hand right now. And that was a Sarah Mobius by the looks of things.
Yeah. So. I think James definitely in the driver's seat here. Getting to do everything he wants to. I don't know if Earth Water's really got any answers for the monsters. Once you've got this set up, once you've got the Scale Toad, once you've got the Big Loss.
There it is. Someone in the chat just letting us know that Ash is obviously in the combat phase, so that's why she didn't get to attack. So thank you, Solar Synthesis. Yeah.
So she triggers it. She triggers at the start of attack phase. I see. Okay. Alrighty, so hit the Remora, so got the draw. So Phasalis getting both effects on the attacker, then Remora coming down, doing a whole heap of 2k reduction to something, and then James just starving her of any multicoloured CP. If she wants to do anything, she can only really do water shenanigans this turn. That Prish, another great card. That's. I think it was a bit underrated. I think it's really potent as a removal spell, but sometimes just hard casting, like you see there, getting the dull freeze.
Yeah,
and I feel like Atomic, you probably just sat with Prish. Can you just play a new one and get the same effect?
Yeah. And got to be said, as much for my own prejudice, Prish is a monk.
She's playing all the activators. Yeah. She's leaning hard on Alice. I think this is Sanctuary Keeper.
I called that early. Oh yeah.
Yeah, nice, Prish. Nice.
So she's going to get the reactivation prior to combat this time. Give the 2k buff. Now on the attack, we'll remove it. Opponent choice removes one out of the game. Well,
no, it goes
to break zone. Yeah.
So
she finally got the attack off.
Yeah. She's worked hard for that attack. Wait, did he take the damage?
Yes, he got rid of the... Oh, wait, no, he hasn't.
No, yeah, he hasn't taken the damage. I'll run over.
And his skates are on, folks. This is prime Materia Cup Sam Jackson, everyone. So, we're going to have to rewind slightly here because Kiddy didn't take his point of damage. There we go. So he loses the Vice. Jacko's back, roller skates on, folks. So I know you all missed him.
Yeah, lucky he had his cards in order, so it was quite easy fix, so we knew which one was going to top. Jenny calling him out for cheating already.
Get the judges over there. Judge.
Shantoto coming down. I bet you the Shantoto was the card he drew. He didn't actually draw it. No, he didn't draw it, and then he drew an extra card because he didn't draw because he had the damage, and then he drew the Shantoto.
We're not calling him a cheat. Not calling him a cheat.
Well, he may not have drawn it.
Suspicious.
He may not have drawn it if I hadn't told him.
It's fine.
Nice. Okay, so I think I can see a Iridia here for Jenny. So Iridia comes down. I guess you to 5 backups.
So I think probably at this point, I think if I'm me, I go for an Earth Summoner and perhaps a Sildra.
In an ideal world, you want to grab like a Garnet that you can play, but you can't because the Garnet is water and.
Oh, she's gone with the Ico.
She's going with the Ico. I think it is the Leviathan. Whatever she grabs, though, she's remember here that she's going to be discarded from Scale Toad. Yeah. James being sneaky, hiding his Scale Toad at the bottom of his pile of monsters, hoping that Jenny forgets about it. You got to grab. I think what you can. I don't know if you got any Sildras left. So if you can grab a Sildra and that Ico, and then tap, discard the Ico, play the Sildra, get a water card and an Alice, and then play the Alice.
Yeah, there we go.
It's probably your best line of play here. But you're still kind of in.
Oh, so she just discarded for 2.
Oh, yeah, interesting. So she's keeping the Ico, knowing full well that it's probably going to get ripped by the Unalesca. We'll see.
Oh, okay. So Solar Synthesis letting us know there that Sanctuary Keeper is not, it's mandatory. So.
And it doesn't specify.
Yeah, so just choose a forward.
Choose a forward. Interesting, cool.
Let's perhaps get that up, shall we?
So, guys, a few of you in the chat, let us know where you're tuning in from. 1994. Let us know where you are tuning in from. I know we've got a few people from our locals here in chat. But if you're from anywhere else in the country, if you're there, let us know where you're watching from. Okay, so yeah. I think he's Q's Sith. I didn't see. I think as we were sorting out the Sanctuary Keeper, I didn't see what he grabbed with the Q's Sith. Probably the Phasalis to play again. Because I think he's Unalesca effective. So hands empty.
He did, yeah. Got rid of the Ico.
Tuning in from Scotland, all of the. She's an English person, an Irish person. Then we got the full set.
Whee!
Sounds like the start of a bad joke.
Next you'll be saying we're walking into a bar. Let's not.
I wouldn't mind walking to a bar right now.
Hey, there's one upstairs. Just saying.
Okay, so Jenny's kind of stuck in top deck mode. Iceearth's sitting pretty in doing exactly what it wants opponent to be top decking, trying to see if they can get any answers.
The problem is as well, if you're Jenny, you've got to be worried about decking out at this point as well. She's drawn a lot, she's Sildered a lot.
An ideal draw here would be you need a Thomas right now, because as the game goes on, Scale Toad and Unalesca is keeping your hand empty. And then as long as your hand is empty, Phasalis is just getting more value. And it's back to the Robo problem that they had earlier. James is drawing 3 cards a turn. Every time he attacks with Phasalis, he's drawing that extra card. So Marines come down. So Jenny's hoping that it can live a turn so that she can start doing some Ash Marine shenanigans again. James had a bit of a think here. Looking at his breaks, I wonder if he's got another Q-Sith or something. Maybe he's got a Shantoto forward.
Yeah, it looks like there's a Shantoto on the right as well.
Pretty irrelevant if he does got the forward. I think he only plays 1 because he's got the backup on board already.
Yeah, and I believe the backup is his far right hand as well.
Yeah, I think he might have seen a Tidus there. the 4CP light Tidus, which is maybe what we see come down now. Just yeet that Noreen out of here.
Yeah, it almost feels like it might be a foregone conclusion if that is the case.
If it's a robot, then we'll absolutely laugh. Okay,
No
it's
surprise. Okay,
so now we probably see the Unalesca effect. Now you're getting a dull freeze on the Noreen, and you're getting a dull freeze on a backup, and then you're going to get Physalis is going to tidy up the rest.
We're not quite seeing what Jenny discarded there.
Yeah.
Keeping that there CP
no, I
frozen.
mean, the Noreen is... so wait, I think the Sanctuary Keeper is both...
Yeah, I think we missed a trigger there. And his skates are on again, folks. He's off. So, yeah. So he's just letting the guys know at the table. Actually, come to think of it, I'm not sure if it truly matters because the Fistless is going to attack the Dull Freeze anyway. Yeah, that's what we're thinking. So although this little bit of confusion here. Yeah, it looks like that's what they possibly went with. Jacko's coming back.
So it is irrelevant because the Physalis gets... Well, it's semi-irrelevant because the Physalis still gets the Dull Freeze, but it's relevant in that it stops Kitty Dull Freezing and extra backup.
Mm-hmm. It does seem like a bit of a shame. I'm not sure if Jenny is actually playing the Grosh, but it feels like she's hurting for it at this stage.
Yeah. I mean, I think... He got... Yeah, so he did have the Tidus, so he's going to yeet it anyway. So I think this Tidus sends it to the bottom of the deck.
Yeah. And with a lovely revival skill, if it ever dies, he's got enough in break to be able to do it as well by the looks of things.
I didn't see, obviously, because I was running over. She hit the Tyro. I didn't see what she said. Oh yeah, chat. We actually have a damage function that we have just not been using up until now. Let's just update that.
New systems and all.
New systems. Yeah, use everything. So right, okay, cool. So I think she's got the Atomos, but the problem now is that you've got three things, and James probably just sacks off the Tidus.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't see what else we've got. It looks like maybe she's got a Kusith of her own, so maybe she's going to try and grab back an answer. So probably see the Thomas first.
Yeah, the lack of Earth CP is absolutely killing
her. Get rid of the Tidus. Vice and Physalis are going to be putting in serious work for you for the rest of this game.
And what can she do with two cards in hand?
She probably Kusiths, and then if she got the water thing, she could be grabbing Alice and playing Alice. But yeah, I think it's a bit of a far gone conclusion at this point because you'll get the Sanctuary Keeper reactivate, but Physalis is just going to Dull Freeze it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she's going for the Alice again.
Opting not to go for the full art Alice because she doesn't want too much power on her cards, which is fair enough.
Yeah, I think it was a shame that she couldn't play the other dual horn because I believe it's pay X on entry, isn't it?
Is it? Oh, and you can play it from Breakstone.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think so then I work out. It's like, okay, you have to do this every turn.
Yeah.
What is going on with this? So I'm assuming the Physalis is upright as well. I don't know why it would be frozen.
He's just forgotten. There you go. Yeah, he's going to attack. Goes for the Dull Freeze. Skips the Sanctuary Keeper. Oh, Titan! Oh my god!
Oh my goodness!
that was totally unmuted because I was changing the score. So, but Titan now taking out the the Wise to stop lethal.
It buys you a turn here.
You've got to think that she was hoping that she could have taken out the Physalis, but.
Because I got the Sanctuary Keeper, reacted with the Alice, tarot with the Alice, yeet that Physalis. Is this comeback? Is this the comeback? I think you'd be.
I would love Jenny to be able to just pull this back from 6. Let's see what she can do here. I mean, she has got the attack from the Alice, but can she leave herself with no blockers? I don't think she can.
Well, I don't think the deck has haste. And she'll only put him at damage 2, so Biblos won't be able to attack.
You're right.
So,
and again, Solo called in the plays already. He's like our joint commentator, folks.
Yeah.
The Tidus is still in break zone for Kitty. You can play that pretty much whenever he wants.
Yeah, but now you just Arcanist to say you can't attack. So now your 3s can't attack. So
yeah, no removal.
yeah,
there.
so now you don't even get that removal.
Oof.
So it looks like Jenny's got a bit of a dead hand. I think I can see a Rydia there as one of the cards.
Well, we wouldn't give for hand cam.
And then is that a Remora, I think, is the second card. So that's going to do a whole 4k to something if you cast that Remora off your backup. So I think we're probably going to see the end of the game inbound. Jenny just trying to map it out and see if there is anything she can do. Arcanist, at the end of the day, putting in work. Turns out it doesn't matter if you say all these things can't attack. Sometimes saying just one thing can't attack is enough. Yeah, YKT is not doing anything where it's sat there, so you pop its action ability, put it in the break zone. Now if you top deck a Larketius, you can play that YKT onto the field to get a break effect.
Sadly, no Larketius though.
Yeah, it lets you map out your turn as well for the next turn, so you can have a look at those top 2 things, see if there's anything you like, see if there's anything you don't, send it to the bottom. Cool. So, Giddy, what have you got?
To be honest, you got to think that perhaps the Fissilus is just enough to do it.
Oh, I think it's going to be, yeah. I think you just, Lesker effect to make him get rid of his last card from hand. Doesn't matter that the Sanctuary Keeper will reactivate the Alice, because you can just dull it again with the Alice. Okay, so he's going to do the Krista to randomly discard.
And it looks like Jenny's just going to cast it.
Cast the Remora.
Yeah. She's going to get to draw, so it's still going to go in the break zone anyway, though, right?
Yeah, and then she's going to draw, and then she's going to
-2.
randomly discard. And then Biblos with Dog Freeze, go to attack phase, Sanctuary Keeper, activate Alice, Solace, GG.
Yeah. Sadly, that is all that she wrote, folks.
Looks like James got Shiva in hand as well.
And there's the death now. Dull freeze, draw, damage.
Oh, there's a Leviathan as well. 6 CP Leviathan coming down.
7-1 to Kitty here.
That is game.
That was a very commanding game, getting all the discard early.
Yeah, kudos to Jenny, lovely deck. I really enjoyed that actually. Some cool shenanigans going on in there.
It's a shame we couldn't see the dual horns in action.
Yeah, it's a shame. But I definitely saw some of the engine going. That draw, that Ash Nareen engine was quite cool.
That was pretty nice.
Seeing that get together. So hopefully you see some more good stuff like that later. So we'll see if Kitty wants to come have a chat. I think
because we've still got 9 minutes in the
10 minutes on the round. So we're going to go mute. We're going to go to Be Right Back, and we'll catch you guys shortly. Cool. So we got the people's winner of the game with us for an interview, because the real winner was too much of a lame-o. He'd much rather go out and kill himself smoking.
Yeah.
And ruin his lungs.
That's a good point.
Boo. Jenny, the people on chat were loving your deck. Talk us through that. You're saying it was one of your Paupers decks from the Materia Cup?
So it was my Pauper deck from the Materia Cup, and then I added like Soldier. That was like when I got here, and that was it, because I haven't played since Materia.
I mean, that's what you need. Soldier is still busted. Card's still nuts.
It was great.
Nice. Yeah, that Alice is really cool. Didn't quite get to see it.
It happened once, which I'm happy with. That's all we care about.
And I saw you got is it the Marquis as well in there? I think that was...
Yeah, he was there. That was in there for Pauper when everyone was playing aggro, so he really helped against that 'cause things ended dull. But I didn't need it for that.
Yeah.
It was a fun game.
Yeah, I think Skeletor is always a bit of a rough one to come up against. There's a few times I think where you had the soldier like, oh cool, I can start thinking about my next one. It's like, oh wait, no I can't because I'm going to discard Skeletor and then Yeleska's going to discard my last card.
Yeah, like Nareen's a great draw engine until the card you draw you have to discard to Skeletor anyway, so it was just kind of pointless.
Yeah, and I think James had set up quite nicely at the start. I think I talked a bit about it on chat, but sometimes I think Ice Earth struggles to get set up, I think, with the backup engines, but yeah, he didn't even need to use Narcissus to get any of those monsters out.
He was fine.
So what do you think, any more changes you'd make other than just adding in the soldier?
I need to
else?
actually look at the Summoner deck, because obviously Unai is a great card that I would put in it, I just didn't have the cards with me. It was kind of one of those days. But I think Summoners is definitely a deck that needs to be looked at.
Yeah.
I just haven't done it yet. And someone that's better at deck building needs to look at that instead of me.
Still opting for the backup video as well. I know.
Yeah, I love the forward Rydia, but the backup, like, if you get the Unibraska Rydia, like, combo turn, like turn 1, turn 2, it's just too good. Yeah, so
maybe we should get some new toys next set with that Rydia and the new Cecils that were spoiled last week.
We'll have a look. I've been meaning to look at the Summoner deck since this set, but like we're almost at the end of the set now. I feel like, and I still haven't actually done it.
We got time.
Maybe that's what I'll do the next few weeks.
Cool. We've got a few more rounds tonight to run it, so best of luck in the rest of the rounds.
No worries, thank you.
And we'll catch you later. Alright, we are back. Round 2. Who have we got, Fish? Tell us.
So, we've got Dale versus Paul McAvoy. Paul is playing his top cut Exdeath Earth Lightning. Dale playing a Soiree list. So,
Dale, James Kiddie's #1 fan, getting his time on stream this time.
He is so going to murder you for that.
Mate, it's just facts. It's just facts.
I mean, if he would stop talking about Kiddie for 5 minutes, it'd be fine, you know?
I know, it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird, but yeah. So Dale on the Soiree. I know Dale's getting back into the game after a hiatus for a couple of years. So I know he's trying a bit of Icewind for a bit, and now he's trying Soiree, all the meta stuff. Got to give it a go.
He's tried his wind. He's tried wind ice. You know, he's got to try something a bit more fun than that.
Soiree, a bit more fun than that.
Absolutely more fun.
Sorry, did you have fun playing Soiree?
But I played FF13 4 times.
Yeah, fair enough. That's just not fun for anyone involved.
Nope.
I feel like it's not even fun for the FF13 players, man.
No. It just felt like it was one of those decks people had put together and just run it because it was easy. But there we go.
Cool. Alrighty, so the time on the round has started.
And we'll try and keep the scores up to date this time.
It looks like Paul's got the play. I think Dale has got the amber in hand, so I think he's set and he's laughing. Paul getting rid of the double summon. Probably that up.
Going straight in for his Lady Antiquity.
Nice, yeah, probably keeps it in the hand. In the ideal world, he's got something like a Rickard or another Delusionary Warlock that he plays, and then plays the Lady of Antiquity. Dale probably just slaps down the amber.
Goes straight for the Shinju.
Interestingly, he has got the Madame Adele in his hand. I wonder if I would have maybe just gone Amber Warrior of Light for the Madame Adele and played the Amber.
I'm wondering if he just knows that you can expect a Mist Dragon, but would Paul play it early? That would be the deciding factor.
Because it would cost Paul, I guess, 3 cards from hand, leave him with 1 left, and you get the draw, so it'd be 2 cards. So yeah, maybe it's too much of a risk. Maybe you're probably right.
Although he's just discarded the Amber for the Shinju then.
Maybe he's got a second Amber. Also, Amber's dead if you haven't got any members to play. Okay, so he's got the video, so he has got the nice 3 CP back up to curve. So we'll probably see him search the Mist Dragon or the Cockatrice. Okay.
Cockatrice was putting in a lot of work for Paul over the material
so
weekend.
I think he wants it in there. He wants it in there because he runs this card with Man in Black.
Yeah.
So Cockatrice is a 1 CP summon that you basically choose a forward, and it cannot attack or block and doesn't receive any damage. So comboing that with Man in Black is just really nice because you can cast it, say something can't block, you can attack with Man in Black, get it back. The Man in Black, when you cast Cockatrice the first time, says something can't block. Play the Cockatrice the second time, and then Man in Black triggers again. That's 4 things that can't block.
Yeah.
Or
in with a very aggro sort of set that we're in, stopping people from attacking as well. And Prish real early here with no targets too.
Yeah. I love how Dale had to read that Cockatrice as well. That's an Opus 5 card, man. Like,
he was here for that.
He was here for that. and I know he played Mono Earth back in the day because I've played against him a number of times in the past.
Yeah, he beats me all the bloody time. He's like my nemesis. But there we go.
So he's put the Prish down. Looks like Dale's got a Tyro in hand. So I probably see the Tyro coming down. So
we got some Dale fans up in the chat.
Loads of Dale fans. So yeah, I think we see Tyro come down here. So Tyro's there's 5 to be back up. Let's just search whatever forward you want. But the main thing is that it's the colour fixing. Actually, I wonder if Gale grabs maybe either a Soiree member that can deal with this Prish, and maybe a Merald, or I could see him probably grabbing a copy of the Bash that he's just thrown away. So he does go for the Merald.
Still not quite there ready for the wall yet, so he's just waiting for his Elvis or...
Yeah, so surprised no 5CP Rydia. So Paul isn't running that Seymour backup. He actually is running one of the Seymour forward. The one that when you have certain summon direction
hits the Kusith.
Get wrecked.
You get rid of my stuff. I'm just going to bring her back.
Yeah. Get rid of your pressure. I'll just have her right back into my hand. So I think Paul feeling that he'd had enough engines with the Delusionary Warlock. I think that's why he felt he didn't need the engine. I don't think he's even running the Reeve Vincent engine. He tried it, but I think he found that he was getting enough backups. I think because he's running a crystal package with the Lady Lilith, the problem if you run too many backup engines is you then haven't got the space to run all your crystal backups. Having said that, I know he hasn't seen any yet.
No. But I also believe he put in the 3-cost Ridder in order to be able to get the Ixion whenever he needed to deal with 13.
Show me what you got. Double hacker.
Now, what do you go for here? Do you get rid of the Exdeath to protect your break zone, or...?
I think the Exdeath isn't a bad shout because Dale obviously wants to look after his break zone. He's going to give it a read. You could get rid of both hackers here if you were worried about hackers going wide. I guess it depends on what's in Dale's hand.
I don't think the Melusine is the right choice either.
Well, you can get rid of the Exdeath first, and then I think the Melusine's, because if he top decks a Lady Lilith, the Melusine suddenly becomes the best choice.
It does, this is true, and there's a Prish.
So I feel you get rid of the Prish, because otherwise the Prish does kill the Zidane.
I mean, pretty much anything in that hand will kill a Zidane nearly.
Yeah. It means he leaves the Exdeath, but the Exdeath, if you pull, you're not really playing the Exdeath anytime soon.
No, exactly. It's not going to be at live, so...
yeah.
But even still, I suppose keeping the Soiree members and that wall out of game could be pretty nasty.
So he's gone for the hacker.
He's hit Man in Black. You hate to see it.
Yeah. So that's revenge from that Kusa Dale getting his vengeance by hitting that man in black.
So you got to think the ball is sitting pretty. He's got his colour fixing up. He's Exdeath is going to cost him 2.
Yeah. So 3 is. I think we see the Prish come down. Get rid of that Zidane. So you have to discard a card to buff the Prish. And then they fight each other.
There goes his crystal.
So yeah, I wonder if he's got a crystal backup in hand. He obviously really likes his other cards because he kind of he has got it in hand.
And he's just going to get rid of it all. Okay.
So he's basically saying he's kind of resigning himself to not wanting to do any kind of Avalanche ball shenanigans.
I don't think it really matters with the prevalence of his Lady Lilith in that deck.
Because we know he's got no crystal backups in hand now because he didn't have any before and he just got rid of 2. So that must have been his draw. Must have been double crystal backup.
So Exdeath, I don't believe is live for the removal from game.
No, it's just a 10k. So I think so. It must be 10 things have been removed.
So,
right.
Jacko, here's the big question though. Are you going to be able to call which damage Elvis hits?
I only say that for special occasions.
I feel like this may be a special occasion.
This could be. I hope we can leave this up. Okay, so he has got Owen as his 4th Soiree member, so he is going to get the show me your hand and get rid of it.
Oof. You got to think that the Mist Dragon almost doesn't matter here.
Yeah, the 2 CP Mist Dragon on the body. I think you're right. I think the Exdeath coming down then was a good call. Sometimes people get preoccupied by wanting to wait till they get a fully online Exdeath before playing it. But sometimes, especially in a matchup like Soiree, where you want to get rid of any Soiree members that are in the break zone to stop any Madame Adele shenanigans. Yeah, that's right. Alrighty, so now he's hit the man in black, so he's going to get that cockatrice back. On 4 backups, that's quite nice because he's now got a curve nice that he can cast that cockatrice with that 1 CP he's left up.
And you.
Except just slaps in as a 10k. Elvis.
And there's the Elvis point 1.
I should have called it. First damage Elvis is always the one. I feel like you killed
Told
him.
you it was a special time and you missed it. Couldn't commit. Right. He gets rid of the man in black straight away.
Cockatrice stays there.
Yeah.
Dale doesn't know that.
Yeah. The silly rules on those cards being able to be cast when the forward isn't even on the field. Drives me up the wall slightly, but there we go.
Okay, I think I can see a Warrior of Light in hand, but the problem is you're still a backup away from being able to play it.
Unless he's running Cecil.
Yeah, you're right. Man in Black in main 2 was the right call then, I think, because he didn't really make use of the Man in Black. If he was going to use the Cockatrice to stop the Owen, then fine, but he didn't even use it, so I think a bit of a misplay there, but it happens.
And the Prish, this is the problem when you're playing Prish. This is why I'm not a huge fan of the card. You have to discard in order to kill something, pretty much anything in the Soiree deck.
I think it's damage 3 that it gets its buff.
This is right, yeah.
So until then, you're just discarding and to buff it by 2k as well, which is a trade into the Irwin. He has got the Lexa as well, so he can Lexa buff, but I think it was tapped out last turn. Alrighty, Dale, show me what you got. 4 CP. Let's see. He's thinking. He's got a lot of cards on hand to decide.
A lot of cards on a lot.
I've seen a Warrior of Light in there, but obviously we said that you can't play it. Madame Adele is a bit of a wasted card right now with an empty break zone.
Well, he's lost 2 Madame Adeles at this point.
I can see the Water Tidus, so you can play that to bounce something. I think I can see an Elvis actually. I think I can see an Elvis in hand, which I feel like if you got the Elvis, you play it now, because then your Warrior of Light is online. So he's paying for. Maybe he hasn't got Elvis. Maybe it's a.
Okay, so there's the Tidus. That's going to let him take a backup back to hand, I believe, right?
So you get a backup back to hand, but then you bounce one of pulls forwards. But I was like, do you really want to be bouncing one of pulls forwards? Because both have good on entry effects.
But I suppose if you choose the Prish, you're going to make him discard the card.
I'm pretty sure I can see an Elvis in hand though, so I feel like the play would have been to do Elvis and then to do the Tidus and bounce the Elvis back to hand, because you could easily do that.
I suppose if he doesn't have the Tidus,
true. You don't have to bounce your opponents forward, so you could bounce your own. Can you bounce your own Tidus?
I don't know. Well, the thing is, surely you would be wanting to go for the Amber, which is what Dale is choosing here. Because if he doesn't have the Elvis, now he got the way to get to it.
Yeah, true. I don't mind seeing that hit damage.
Can just bounce the Tidus back. If he has Elvis, weird not to play. Yeah, completely right, Solo. But can't really see the hands. Just a little bit of glare there. He's got
Sasana there, but I'll probably not see that come down. I mean, this will tell us now, because if he searches the Elvis now, we know he hasn't got it in hand. So let's see what he grabs. Oh, so it looks like he's opting for the Kirin. Is that the first card? Is that Kirin?
He's also, I believe, skipped past Elvis already, trying to in the search.
Penny for Dale's thoughts right now. So he's getting the.
That strikes to me that he does have Elvis in hand.
But I think he has Elvis and Sasano. I know it's Sasano in hand, but I think he has both in hand. Because there was something that had a white line of text, which is for a backup. It's like a white text box at the top. Well, we'll have to ask the man himself later.
Well, we seem to have the underdogs on stream rather than the winners, so let's get it done.
Whoa! Don't be saying you think you know. Don't be saying you think you know who's going to win in this game. This could go anyway.
This is true, but it does feel like so far, as much as it's 3-1.
I think it's finding the balance. Both players got a bit of a hand, setting a bit of a board. We know McAvoy's got the Exdeath.
And we know Prish is now effectively online.
Yeah, so it's now going to be 9. Is it a 3K buff? I can't see. It's quite small in the text. I think it is 3K buff. No, it's only 2K buff.
But taking it to 9 on discard, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Now I do believe that Paul is running only 2 copies of Prish in the deck. So
shout out for Dale getting a point of damage. so Dale got a point. So Dale's actually got 3 points.
Yeah.
So I know. So Dale's got a few fans in chat that I think don't know the game particularly well. So currently Dale is ahead on damage 3-1. So you don't want to be the first one to count up to 7. So when you count up to 7, game over for you. So we could even see Dale go up to 4 here. No, he's going to offer the block, and then Cockatrice is going to come down and probably say that Prish doesn't take any damage.
Yeah, but Prish is 8k, so it is going to take a nice trade there.
No, there's no trade. So
take the kill.
Yeah.
And there's the next attack.
Yeah.
a lot of shocked people where Dale is actually winning. A bit harsh, but you know, he's definitely going to punish me later.
Yeah. So I can see an Arc in hand. I can see a Vesvia. So I wonder if you see the Vesvia come down, get a couple of draws. Maybe he's digging. So he's got a Thornton there as one of the 2 draws, and a Cecil, I believe, is his second card.
Well, either of those will let him get a Warrior of Light out there, but you probably think he's waiting until next turn for that.
Probably says that for next turn. He's got to do something now because his hand is stacked. He has got the Arc, so I wonder if he's got any sort of win CP that he can play that 4 CP Arc that lets you flip the top 5 cards and get something back.
It looks like he's not entirely happy with his hand there, giving it a good shake.
God, I think he's complaining he's got too many cards.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
First world problems.
Yeah, I know. Shame on you for complaining for having too many cards in your hand. You know what Dale needs? Dale needs to play against more discard.
Go get him, Ice Player.
Yeah. Okay. Right, Dale, what are you going to do? See, I think you got 1, 2, 3. You got 7. So if you play the Arc, you go down to 4 and then back up to 5. Which is probably the cleanest thing to do right now.
I think at this point, if we can get 100 Dale fans in here, we'll say we'll get some hand cams on the go as well.
Dale may be James Key's #1 fan, but we've definitely got a few people that are Dale's #1 fan, I think, in chat. Okay, so he's just going to go for the Cecil into the War of Light now.
He's not going to get the...
Wait, how did he pay for that? Sorry. Discarded Thornton, Sasano, and Misdragon. I can't do that.
Did he pay with the Tyro?
Did he tap? Was the Tyro left open?
I believe so.
I thought he'd tap 4. But if the Tyro was open, then why is he discarded 3 cards? I'm gonna go just double check.
Yeah, skates are on. Sam is off. So in the meantime, try and stop it before the plays go a bit too far. Yeah, Tyro wasn't over. Okay, good call. It was the Arc discard. Yeah, we saw it there.
Yeah, so it wasn't. He had. I think he had the Arc in hand, so he had the way to pay it.
I'm not sure if he should have waited on that until the next turn though.
Well, this is what I think as well. If you're not getting that value out of Warrior of Light straight away,
and that like Tidus again putting in some work for folks.
Yeah. Okay, so
looks like I suck at keeping the scoreboard up to date, folks.
So the Tidus came down, and I'm assuming he paid. I didn't watch, but I'm assuming he paid the 2 on the Cecil, and he's now attacked with the push. Has he paid the 2 again on the target? I think he has. So I see a lot of backups tapped. Oh, I think he attacked with the push, but
didn't pay the 2. Let it
ping and then deliver.
Because otherwise he's going to have to discard as well. So he's effectively playing 4 just to kill something.
Yeah. So I think he's okay. I feel like this Exdeath is probably online now.
Push isn't actually optional. Push is mandatory.
Yeah, but I think he let it fizzle with the Cecil.
Because if you attack into it, you could pay the 2 on target, and then you're going to have to make it bigger than the forward you're targeting, because they're all 8Ks on the board. So you're not wanting to pay 4 when you're effectively tapped out there anyway.
So Dale's got 2. So he didn't have the Albus after everything I was saying earlier. He's got a Misdragon and a Sasano, I believe, as his 2 cards. He's just drawing Shine Turtle.
Oh. But
I mean, it's a 3/3, right?
And if he attacks wildly, there's no way the Paul doesn't see it.
So he's going to play the Merald instead. Yeah, I was going to say.
So he's just going to sit on it.
You're going to sit on it because you can play the Merald, and then it's now 4/2 swing. Yeah. I mean, he could have 5k pinged, but yeah, you're right. It's, okay, so another damage coming in. Man in black. That's the 3rd copy gun now.
And the other one's been removed by the Exdeath. So
to go to 6. And then
that's
the game.
There you go for you big Dale fans out there. Dale taking it.
The dub. Yeah, should have got Lexwell, but at the end of the day, irrelevant. Having Soiree having too much power.
Now, for all you Dale fans out there, shall we go get him so that you can all have a little bit of a chat with him?
Can chat handle it? Or is chat going to explode if Dale comes on camera? I think chat might explode, but you know what? We're all here for it. Yeah. So we're going to go on mute, we're going to go on break, and hopefully bring you a cheeky little interview with the big man himself. So stay tuned.
Catch you guys soon.
Cool, we are back, and by popular demand, we've got Dale, our winner of the round.
Boy.
Lot of love in the chat. Talk to your fans, mate. How was that?
To be honest, I didn't think I was going to win. Like, Paul kicks my ass most of the time, you know. But I think it was just a really good matchup.
Yeah.
I'm learning the deck currently, but it's a very kind of like play yourself deck.
Sure. And how are you finding the Soiree? Because I know you recently got back into the game. You were playing a bit of Icewind, and
Yeah, I was playing Icewind. Yeah. I was told, Paul literally went, don't play that deck. That's not for you right now. You're learning.
Yeah. You want deck that plays itself, like Soiree.
Yeah. That was it. I need to learn to play the game again. So yeah, it was pretty much like that. Soiree does that.
Yeah.
But I think Paul's deck really struggles against Soiree too.
Yeah, I think we brushed upon it a bit off screen. I think there's a few things obviously could have done differently, but I think in the grand scheme of things, I don't know how much it changes. I think it is a bit of a rough matchup. I think Paul needs to see the right cards at the right time.
And it was just, I drew the correct cards for the cards that he was playing the board. So while he had the Exdeath, and I was like, well, it doesn't matter if it goes to like 10k and forces me to discard one card. I'm just going to discard remove a searcher, and I'm going to play a card that destroys that card straight away anyway. So.
And then you got the amber gone, and then you just need to now can top deck any amber or Elvis to kill whatever you want.
Oh mate, the Elvis EX burst as well. I was just like, yeah, that's what this deck. Nice. I'm so good at this. Man.
Yeah, it's easy, man. Easy. It was also Vengeance as well, where you hit the Q Sith on his first damage. You're like, oh, I'd get this pushback. Yeah. And then second damage, you were like, Man in Black, boom, get rid of that stuff. You can't play that card anymore against me.
Yeah, like the frustration with the deck was when it goes really well, it feels like you're overdrawing.
Yeah.
And I had no other plays other than drawing cards. Like everything I did was drawing cards.
Yeah, and we were talking about that as well. And I think it was irrelevant in the end, but what you ended up doing was you ended up playing the Cessna into Warrior of Light, which actually, if you're going to do that, you probably should have done that maybe main phase 1, so you get the attack of the Warrior of Light.
So I had my hand quite close to my chest, but I drew into the Cecil.
Yeah, off the residue.
So so then that's why I was like, I kind of have to play that because I need to kind of get rid of cards from my hand. It's probably the smartest one to gain board control.
Another thing that we were talking about as well was that the other option you could have done would have been to play the Arc, and I think that would have put you at 4 and then at 5 or whatever cards you get off the Arc to try and dig for that Elvis.
Yeah.
But I think the only way to have done it would have been to get rid of the Cecil, and if you'd done that, I think you had no way to play
had
Warrior
no way.
of Light.
That was my thought. So I've got no way of playing Warrior of Light. I don't have the backups for it, and it doesn't look like I'm going to get it anytime soon with the way the game's going. So I was like, okay, I need to play this Warrior of Light. It gives me the best board presence, and the Arc can just kind of go in the bin. So
Are you still reading other people's cards? Have you got your head around a bit? Well, what
every game I'm there like, what does this do? I mean, most of the time I'm looking at my own cards.
You stopped to read Cockatrice, so I called him out. I was like,
it was like early up, I know, but nobody plays that.
But you played Money Earth back in the day, man.
I know, but nobody plays Cockatrice, right? I used to play Cockatrice, but nobody plays that anymore, apart from Paul, who loves it.
Yeah. Cool. Anything you're hoping to not see in the coming rounds? Any bad matchups that you found from your time playing Soiree?
I have never played against a Final Fantasy 13 deck, the aggro one. I've never played it.
Long may it continue, it's not fun.
But I don't want to see it either because it just sounds like a really unfun time.
Sure.
I don't think I kind of like a Soiree do very well against that.
Yeah, I don't know. Soiree can do. I think the Soiree matchup isn't that bad for Cat 13. I'm bashing it. There's actually nothing wrong. I've got no problem with the deck. I think it's nice. It's good that it came in a package.
I don't know my matchups very well at the moment. I don't know what I realistically like. Game 1 I actually lost against Sam Griffith.
Okay, yeah.
But he was playing a Lightning Wind deck. But it's the Chaos
deck,
Arc jank. And oh my god, I hate every time I come across that Chaos Arc combo because it's just.
I mean, it's literally people have coined that combo to deal with Soiree.
Yeah.
Soiree's been running around playing.
There was a point where he has her on board, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I have to do something about it, but I know you've got the Althea, so that's just coming back to hand. But I've got to make you spend the resources somehow, otherwise it's just going to stay there.
Keep going.
But,
free casting a break, a discard 2 is just disgusting.
It was brutal.
Cool. Alright, cool. Right, well, good luck with the rest of the rounds. We're going to go back onto break, and we will catch you guys a bit later.
Hey guys, so we are back. We are up with round 3. So we've got Reese versus Dan. This time we've got Dan playing Ice Lightning and Reese playing an Ice Wind Brew. So
we haven't got the standings up. I don't know if these guys are a couple of our exos going into this round. What we'll do actually after this round is going into the final round. We'll get the standings up on stream for you guys. See how things lie of the land. Going into what I think will be the last round.
Yeah, right. We're on 5 rounds tonight.
5 rounds.
Yeah, 5 rounds tonight.
Bonus
So
action.
everyone gets a lovely 5th round, which we don't always play, but we may not have a decider tonight.
Yeah,
so.
and to be fair, it raises a very good point. We often go to 5 rounds at our locals. Fish, tell the people why we go to 5 rounds.
Because everyone's sleepy. No, it's because usually we have a clear winner by sort of 4th round. It's easier than just call it there. No 5th round's can ever decide the ultimate winner. Then
what I was hinting at really is that we have serious numbers. Serious.
All of them. No, we have got a strong local team here, and we've even got a few people not able to join us tonight either. So hopefully they'll be back down tonight. Anyway,
our average is about 24, I think. So nice little opening from Reese. He's fixing his hand with the Walt Drill. Another Walt Drill. A little Walt Drill off here.
Someone's going to be gaining all of the crystals.
He's got his chocolate on. Start getting that online, and the Walt Drill just to fix. I think he probably needs to go start digging for a ice backup. Although, to be fair, the good thing about this matchup is Reese can try and play into a Zidane and just nick an ice backup off Dan. Play an ice backup that way.
This is very nice, but then Dan is going to be also throwing out discard, which is Wynn's almost biggest hate is a bit of discard, but looks like a bit of a slow start for Dan.
I think getting the water on early. Oh, you know what I can see in his hand?
Lady Lilith?
Cloud of Darkness.
Oh, you're looking that way.
Cloud of Darkness. Yeah, so you've got Lady Lilith, you've got Cloud of Darkness. So he wants to start getting his crystals up, because then he can play this Cloud of Darkness down onto the field. This is the one that you pay 2 crystals and you remove something from the game, and then while Cloud of Darkness stays on the field, your opponent cannot play any more copies of that card.
Don't worry.
And he's going to be getting more and more crystals, because that Vulture is going to sit there, end of turn, give me more crystals, over and over.
And don't worry, Dan, I don't think anyone saw the Alcid you just dropped on the table.
You didn't see anything.
You saw nothing.
And this is the nice thing about this Vulture, is you're going to keep getting crystals, and it's not really costing you anything. It's a 2-CP body, and Reese is going to have to invest to try and get rid of it. So Reese is probably just going to let it sit there and gain crystals, but he's probably not expecting Dan to slap down something like this, this Cloud of Darkness.
Interesting, okay.
So he's given the Lilith haste. I guess he knows the matchup, but he wants to try and start getting some damage in and start slapping up.
You got to feel that Dan is struggling with his backups here, because he's had the Alcid, he had the Lightning in hand. Probably thought he could have at least played.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's got 3 forwards at 9, so he's got no backups. He's got a Zeromus, he's got a Alcid, and I'm pretty sure his final one is the Cloud of Darkness. So he just hasn't seen any backups. I assume he's probably running some sort of engine. I think he's probably running the Casey Reeve engine. Oh, tasty!
There goes the Cid.
Yeah,
but
Reese was probably hoping to draw that. It'd be a nice card to play on curve.
Still, though, I'm sure plenty more where that came from. And we don't ever really want to be sat across the table from it. So Dan's probably, breathing a sigh of relief right now.
And Dan proving it was the right thing to do to give that little get it down, give it haste, and try and get some attacks in.
But this is where Reese just plays the other one he drew. It's fine. No, he's going for the draw. Gets the chocolate.
He's going to get digging for it. Gets a draw for chocolate. Yeah, and 2 nice points of damage there for Dan, because there are 2 cards I think Reese could have easily played on curve just to get himself set up.
I don't see Reese playing the second. What was it? The Uke was the first damage, I believe.
I think Dan is waiting for Reese to play forward here, not for the Cloud of Darkness, but I think what he's probably going to do is he can probably do an Alcid into Zeromus. Zeromus frees on entry, and then he can use the Lady Lilith and the crystal to give Zeromus haste as well. So normally having to wait for Zeromus gets damage to you before getting haste, but he's just got free reign with all his crystals. Watchful putting in serious work.
Yeah, but you got to think though, he's probably more nervous about his backup line than not having the CP to play the combos that he's hoping for. Oof. But it looks like Reese is just inviting more damage in.
Ouch, so Reese obviously not happy with what he's drawn.
And we know
opting to wait. So I wonder. So Dan has just topped up the Reeve, and I wonder if he's thinking about actually trying to go to Reeve Kate Sith. He's seen that Reese is obviously not happy with what he's got, either building for a turn to come, or
a bit of hand knowledge here will go a long way.
Yeah, and actually doing what we just said about doing the Alcid into the Zeramus. Zeramus is only freeze on attack, so actually he's not really going to get much value out of it because only the Chocolate is frozen as it stands.
But that being said, with no blockers there, going the Reeve and Keith Sith route and then pushing for another 2 will be perfectly fine. It does mean the Atmos will be live though.
I think that's fine because you can just kill the Atomos with the Lady Lilith if
this
you
is
really
true,
want
yeah,
to.
this is very true.
I think he's going to have to get rid of the Cloud of Darkness from his You probably hear Fish laughing there. I'm trying to slyly
I tried to keep it quiet and
I'm trying to slyly eat some veggie samosas in the background and I just spilt it all down myself. I'm so glad the commentator camera's off for that.
We'll turn it on later and you get it all down yourself all over again. So here we go. Kate Sith is out.
As we said, it's a nice top deck. Reeve Kate Sith sets him up. It gives the he's got that Cloud Darkness. I think you want to keep the Zeramus. So Reese probably wanted to cast something now.
Oh, he's just going to get rid of the Lilith. Okay.
Yeah.
And she can't eat herself for a crystal, which is a shame.
Yeah. So
Asura,
I feel
lock.
like you've seen one lock go to break zone. I don't think you've got any ways of getting it back. I feel like you just take the lock, right? That's 2 locks down. You're making him have to draw that final copy of lock.
And
Azura, he's got Luso as his target, I think.
Yeah, Luso is in break.
Okay, so he's going to go for the Azura.
I'm not sure if that was the right shout there because lock could turn this tide back in Reese's favour.
I think I would have gone for the lock there.
But 3-0 at the moment. Atmos is live.
Atmos is live, and not only is it live, we've now lost that answer we had in the Lady Lilith.
Yeah. But at least Dan looks like he's in a much better position now backup wise. At least he's got some CP to play with. You know, not just having to ditch his hand all the time.
Now Lady Lilith going down is actually huge for Reese because I think the second card in Dan's hand is the Melusine. So I think he is. I think he's really glad to go. Yeah, Solar Synthesis. I agree with you in chat. I think that I would have taken the lock there as well because the Azura, his only target really was the Luso, and I know it extends some 3-cast turns, but I think this if Reese gets a lock turned down, I think that can really turn this game around. I think had we not seen one lock go already, maybe you could make an argument for it, but I think because we'd already seen one lock go, I think getting rid of that 3rd lock, I agree, I think would have been the right thing to do.
Yeah. And now we've got the Sedan in there. So I mean, you could argue that the Azura now knowing that the Sedan has gone into break zone.
Yeah, but then if you're Reese, you probably don't.
Exactly. I mean, stripping cards from your opponent's hand, dull freeze your backups. You know, you're going 2 turns without any sort of resources.
I feel like if you're Reese, if you just discarded Sedan, this is screaming to me that he's got a second Sedan in hand.
Well, if he doesn't, he may draw it now. Now,
either that or he lost his enabler to go to 3.
No,
so now lock. So we're going to see a dull freeze of the 2 lightning. We're going to probably see a discard.
Yeah, it looks like definitely right on the Melusine there. There we go.
Yeah, you definitely get rid of the Melusine here because without Lady Lilith, nice top deck though. Nice
only saw a night. What else do we see?
Toto. So we can.
Okay.
Although he is at 2 cards.
So it's not. Is it cheaper then?
No, it's not cheaper. So you need to be 1 card or less. So
I think at this point, you've almost got to get that Lady
Lilith.
Lilith.
Play the Zeramus. No, you play the Zeramus.
Yeah.
What you're hoping to do here is you're hoping to try and get him to play his turns out, but the problem is
I don't agree with that play. Like, Zeramus is going to let him freeze that backup, but Atmos is going to let him reactivate it after 2 casts anyway.
Yeah.
I think really my play would have been get rid of the lock because that's with the.
But how?
Well, you play the Shantato.
But you have to pay 4 for the Shantato. That's the thing.
That's very
He's got
true.
2 cards in hand. You've got to pay 4, so you can't do it. So whereas Zero Message now lets you be the aggressor, continue being the aggressor because you're going to double all his forwards at least on each of them.
Well, that is until the Althea's the lock back to hand and does it all over again.
Yeah, there we go again. I think that's why it's good that you double freeze the Uke, but at the same time, is it irrelevant because not only is every on board, but also so is Atomos, so he's going to get those reactivations, those backups anyway.
Exactly.
So taking all the sting out of
there we go.
taking all the sting out of those discards, those double freezes.
Ooh. So character options. Do you just go with a monster and just?
Yeah. I was gonna say it says character, so you can't get.
Yes, he's never getting the summer back there.
I think he tried to, but I think
It's fine. He realised. Always edge of the seat stuff when you watch anything wind-wise.
yeah. So you got the Chocobo Summer, which is.
And here it comes again.
Yeah, there's no point risking trying to attack and then. There's no point risking trying to attack and then do it in main phase 2 because you're playing against Lightning. If they're running a 7-cost Odin, it just feels bad.
Which, if I remember correctly, Dan Haber might actually be running
Is
the
he
Odin
actually?
package.
No
I think
way.
so. I could be wrong on whether he's made some changes to it, but at some point I believe he was running the Odin package. So,
yeah. Reese in a really nice position here because he's got that lock coming down for the discard. He's got rid of.
And there's the Atomos, and we got first damage going against Dan there. So,
Crystal back up.
3-1, losing the backup. I think Dan's got enough crystals really, but could the extra backup have made a difference?
I think Dan being a bit punished here for not taking that lock earlier.
Oh, what's he getting? Oh, he's just going to go with the Alexander, okay.
Yeah, so you're going to get a double draw off it now. And then end of turn, Zero
At least it's protecting him from any further aggression, which is maybe get some extra points in, which is nice.
Yeah, these guys, these players too good to forget Zero Mist.
Yeah, Solo, you owe us some money for that one. Come on, cough up.
Yeah, hey up. Okay, I think he just top deck I want to say 5 CP for Salis, which he cannot play because Lockdoll throws one of our backups. He's also got a Lady Lilith.
Would be inclined to, because he didn't pull the Chocobo back, and he got 1, maybe 2 in hand, so I think you take the risk here. Play the Lilith.
Play the Lilith because you can also then, if he tries to do any bouncing shenanigans, you can stack on it.
Is he breaking the Lulu?
Well, like I said, stopping him doing any sort of loops. He can do it again next turn because Waltra's going to get him a crystal back and put him at 2 crystals. Oh, baby!
Well, yeah, there's the set. Oh no, that's going to be terrible. So I suppose at this point, he's giving her haste again.
He's stacking his EX as well. There's 2 Chocobos next to each other.
The Chocobo going is quite nice though. But I'm wondering here if maybe he shouldn't have paid that crystal for haste. Maybe sacrifice the Waltroll when Reese tries to take back the lock, then kill it in response. I think maybe might have been a better choice there because it's too easy for him to replay that lock over and over again to punish him.
Yeah. I think it's
so he's getting the crystal at the end of turn.
Yeah,
so he's still got the option.
So he's still got the crystals, so he can still sack something and then pay 2 crystals, but that becomes expensive because what do you sack? Because your Waltroll at this stage is getting you loads of value because you're using these crystals quite freely with the Lilith. And the Zero Mist is just a really good card that you want to keep on board to keep this aggression up. So
you've got to think at this point there's a way for Reese to be able to go very wide. So
here comes the Sid Haze. That's cast 1. So I feel like we're probably quite easily getting to a 3-cast turn here. And getting loads of so
yeah, there goes. See, I'm honestly inclined to just maybe eat it for the crystal there, because now he makes his choices even harder.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would have ate that for the crystal because we haven't seen any other copies of Zero Mist yet. So if we eat that for the crystal, we've still got 2 more copies we can draw into.
Anyone else vote for a counter to count how many casts, or is it just me?
I think Dan's doing it for him actually with the die. what a great guy. Dan is just the loveliest man.
Except to me, he hates me.
Not many. I can't be true. No one can hate you, Fish. Right. So Azana.
Search a chocobo. He's gonna get the lock back.
So it's just counting what time of each chocobo he's seen.
So we know that.
I think we've got one's
in break and one's
in break, one in damage.
Yeah.
And we've seen, I think we've seen 3 of the once per chocobo go. One we cast, one we hit on damage, and one was flipped a hit on damage and put back into the bottom of the deck. So we can always go down and get that one, which is what we do.
1 CP, yeah. Take a deep breath, Jacko.
Tell you what, it's the problem when you've got to commentate for the wing players. I'm not really talking the whole time because there's like a million things happening every 2 seconds. You look away and it's just like, oh wow, that's like 10 things that have been cast.
This is why I can't ever play against Win. They could do literally anything they want. I'd be like, yeah, you can probably do that. That's fine.
I reached the point where you just phase out as well. You stop paying attention.
This is an interesting game of solitaire.
No. Go to attack phase. Sid Hayes getting his.
And what's that? Lightning hit as well.
Sephiroth.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Nice. Typhon came down this turn. Can't attack with that. Add today. Lock's going to come in. Restrictor. Nice EX burst. Probably
searches for the Nero.
Or Nero. Yeah. I feel like playing Nero is
a bit slow, isn't it? Really.
I agree. It's a bit slow. If you're at 4 backups, maybe it's a different story, but it's a little bit slow.
And now we don't know anywhere where the Zeromus has gone either.
And this is the thing, I think this is why I would have eaten the Zeromus with the Lilith and then use the crystals, because then you could kill this Sid Hayes before he gets the chance to do the Dull Freeze effects.
I think you've got to basically accept the fact that Locke is sticking around, but if you leave that Sid Hayes there, it's just going to punish you even further. See now right there, as much as Walter was giving him all of that value, I would have probably have eaten him. Fire off, get rid of the lock, protect yourself.
I think Lilith has, and correct me if I'm wrong here, chat, I think Lilith says breaking forward across 5 or less, so I don't think you can even break the lock on the stack.
Could be right. I mean, you could, I suppose, still go after the Sid Hayes, but you don't, I suppose, at this point need to do it here.
I think Wind is getting, and this is what Wind does, it gets into these really strong positions, having been on the back foot. Once it's left to do its own thing, being able to do a lock and a Sid Hayes in the same turn, Dull Freeze 4 things, discard. I think,
it's almost sickening to watch.
Yeah, it is.
Too much value.
Or maybe that's just the Paneer going through.
Too much value. And let's not talk about the Paneer.
So I think Reese is definitely in a strong position right now. So he's going to play the Ash, end of turn, get a draw.
I hear you wanted value. Allow me, says Ash. And 10 turn trigger, there's the draw.
What we need now is we need a...
Stop, drop me cards, Dan.
He's doing it on purpose. Yeah. It's like a flex thing.
He's going to absolutely hate me when he actually listens to this back though. But,
I think what we really needed to see from Dan was a 4 CP Shantoto, and to try and use its dull effect to dull the whole board, and then on the next turn try and swing through with your last 2 things. But the problem is you can't even guarantee you're going to do that, because Althea, Sid Hayes, lock shenanigans is probably going to stop you. So I think Dan being punished for not taking the lock earlier and also not killing that Sid Hayes.
Reese fans in the chat this time.
Yeah, mate. Reese getting some love.
Okay, so playing the Physalis. I mean, the Dull Freeze feels bad with the amount of reactivation.
And this is the thing, you can't Dull Freeze the backup because he's now got Every, so he's just gonna get it back up whatever you choose. And even if you Dull Freeze one of these forwards, you can't choose Ash. And if you choose anything else, the Dull Freeze is a bit irrelevant because they've all got sick on entry. So Risha goes, okay, fine. Dull Freeze, I don't care, I'll just bounce it and then play it again.
That you got.
Reese's wife. Reese's wife is in the chat. That is serious commitment. Shout out to you. You'd be proud of your husband. He's doing good plays today.
Could be a possible lock here for lockdown of the win, not so much as a lock because there's already one on the board.
Also, I think we're going to take this one as well to shout out to my boy Reese. Reese is a fellow med school guy like me.
He's dropping it again.
Not only that, the reason why I'm saying this is because Reese finished med school today. I think that was a massive achievement.
Congratulations.
So I wanted to shout out to him and say massive congrats to him because. That is no mean feat to do that. So fair play to him for persevering.
So it feels like what you're saying is in this situation of good versus evil, Dan is the bad guy.
Dan's the bad guy. Dan is the bad guy. That's too lovely for me to say that. This is all gravy, I think, at this point. Azura's just doing loads of shenanigans.
Azura is doing Azura things.
Give me back that Zidane.
And it just feels like Dan has just got his finger on the trigger, just waiting.
I love how Dan does the whole I'm thinking, no cards in hand. I'm thinking, can't do anything. I'm thinking, thumbs up, go ahead. Thanks for your blessing, Dan. He's going to kill me for insting him. I love you, Dan. I don't mean it.
Everyone's going to kill us for everything we say. It's fine.
That's fine. It's not like a safety saved on the internet for everyone to watch over and over and over again.
Especially when this will be going up on YouTube, by the way, guys, so feel free to watch it later times.
Yeah, good time to plug, actually. We are going to be posting these. I think the plan is to post the rounds sporadically onto our YouTube.
Yeah, like a daily post, rounds 1 through 5 over the next 5 days. So it just feels like Reese has got this.
He's already dead.
He's just putting the boot in. It feels bad. Do we call an ambulance, but not for Reese?
Not for Reese. Definitely not for Reese. I think this is probably going to go through. I'll see.
What the experts can you think to hit?
Give me that Ramu. Bye bye, Sefu.
And there we go.
So
Reese's wife turns up just in time to see him win. Yeah, beautiful.
That's good karma. That's good timing.
So for any other Reese fans out there, shall we get him on here and
see if
have a little
come on, chat. We're going to go to our back screen and hopefully come back to you with an interview. Catch you shortly.
You don't ask me anything too cerebral.
That's alright. So guys, we are back. We've got our winner of the last round, Reese, with us. Reese, congrats on your round 3 win.
Thank you.
How did that go? How'd you find it?
Good. Honestly, I drew a lot of the right cards at the right time, and it felt quite nice. He did a lot of removal, but I didn't give him a lot to do with it at the beginning. So we brushed upon this a bit off stream just then, as I think there's a few things I think we would have done differently. I think chat were agreeing. I think Ice Lightning can be sometimes a tricky matchup for Icewind. I think Dan definitely did the right thing if you want to be aggressive early. I really liked the little crystal package that he had in. I think giving the Lilith haste and just trying to get that damage in was really crucial. But at the end of the day, I think
Lock and Sid Hayes just got too much value.
Yeah, well, Sid Hayes is a busted card. And I was being quite aggressive as well, to be honest, because I was like dulling Althea and Chocolate a lot when I probably could have kept them open and played safer, but I was just trying to push cards.
Yeah, I think that was like justified as well, because I think he was also laying down loads of forwards as well to try and keep tempo, they don't get completely swarmed, because essentially you're trying to buy yourself time, right, so you can start getting these big turns online, doing these big classic win turns. Like there was like one turn where I think you just Chocolate drew and then passed, and that's so easy to think that when someone like draws two, doesn't really do anything and then passes, they're in a bad place. But actually Wind, I think, wants to be stockpiling a bit, wants to, like, doesn't necessarily need to overextend, because you can't, if you try and keep up with certain decks, you lose that ability to do these big like blowout turns. How have you been finding Icewind? I know you've played around with a few other decks. I think you've played a bit of Soiree, a bit of Mono Water.
Soiree is very, very good, but I find it quite boring.
Sure, yeah, okay.
Then that's just me, because it doesn't do any actions in a turn.
It's very like one-dimensional. It feels a bit like, right, I'm going to do stuff on my turn, and then your turn, I'm just going to take a back seat and just let you crack on. So.
You like to just swing with, you play one 4-drop and then get another 4-drop, and then, yeah. I love Mono Water. It's my favourite deck, easily the favourite deck. Nice. I don't know, I used to play a lot of Storm in Magic,
you were saying earlier.
And it's the closest I feel I can get.
Sure.
Even though Grape Shot isn't a card in a Final Fantasy, but...
And I think Icewind is in a pretty good place right now. I think it got, as you said, Sid Hayes comes out scale was a really, really big boost, and I think I've mentioned this to you earlier as well, I prefer it to the Mono Wins list. I just think it feels a bit more greedy in some of the stuff it tries to achieve, but when it achieves it, man, it feels good, and it can be so oppressive to other people. So.
Yeah, because you're basically choosing between, if you want the Fat Chocobo package, which is lush, it's really nice, and then the backups are a bit harder on Icewind. Sometimes I don't even play an ice backup, and you just got to have the ice cards to pitch. And Yuffie's also a really good card, and if you want to be greedy, you can play Bismarck, but the looping the lock just feels so, because you'd be like, dulling freezing 4 things a turn, ripping 2 cards.
And the discard as well. There's a couple. I think there was that one turn, especially where Dan was just left with 1 card in hand. You double froze 2 forwards, 2 backups, and got rid of that last card. And you know, at that point, there's just I don't think there's any coming back. I think his one out. I think he would have potentially would have been if he'd top checked the forward chanter to try and dull your board, but he couldn't even get through because he'd frozen his 2 forwards. So even that was irrelevant. So, anything you're hoping to dodge in the last couple of rounds of the night?
The 13 matchup's always sweaty, just because
it could go either way.
I could get Luso on 7 on turn 2 or 3 and maybe be okay, but I could just be dead turn 2.
Yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Mono Water's hard, just because I have the advantage of they don't want to bounce my stuff most of the time. Like, if I swing into them, they have to bounce, or they just don't do their EX versus. I
think you've got a better Mono Water matchup than a lot of other decks though as well, because you have got that monster removal on the lock, which I think can be super helpful.
You can just sometimes against Mono Water though, if you strip up early, I think, and their turn 2 is like they play 3 monsters in power, so you can just be dead before you know it, like an aggro deck, and you can't really interact. But Soiree's the best deck in the room, right? So
never want to see it, but I think
it can be okay.
Cool. Right, well, best of luck with the last 2 rounds. And,
thank you so much.
Yeah, maybe if we get you back on stream, maybe we see you for the winners round at the end.
Sure.
Cool. Right, guys, we will be back shortly. Catch you guys later. Alrighty guys, so we are back with round 4, and as a special for this round we've got a guest commentator with us.
Hello everybody.
We got Paul McAvoy joining us. Paul, why are you doing guest commentary, Paul?
Oh, I got the vibes, I was doing terrible today.
It's all gone downhill since Dale beat him on stream.
It's all gone downhill since Materia card.
Yeah, we've all been there, mate. We've all been there. So we got Sam Griffiths on the left and Morgan on the right. Fish, talk us through the matchup. Who have we got?
So Sam is running a Wind Lightning with an Arc sort of build on it, a bit of Arc and Chaos, and we've got an Avalanche coming in from Morgan, apparently playing Gipple. Should be interesting.
So
which one?
I think this is the party attack one. So I think he's playing the party attack one. That when you party attack, things get absolutely massive, and I want to say they get brave as well. So it looks like has Morgan got the play. I think he's taken the mulligan. So.
It's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy.
Very naughty boy. Yeah, so it's forwards forming a party control gain brave, and when a party control attacks, all fours of party gain 5k. So let's see if he gets it down. So Sam's taking the play, he's just gone back up and pass, which is nice. Morgan, again, clean, just playing down that Matoya.
My favourite cloud as well.
Yeah, special cloud.
And what we got? Wind Lightning, interesting. So
yeah, so I think he's played, like you said, I think he's got a Storm build. From what I understand, I've chatted to Sam about this deck a few times. It's quite low to the ground, lots of 1CP, 2CP things just to get that cast count up. And he's running the Yuffie in there, the 5CP Legend Yuffie. So
I've stitched this up and played it myself. It's interesting.
Polendina, so
searching a category 4.
So he's got a few types, I think. So I think is he running the Cecil? No, he's definitely running Man in Black. He obviously knows what he wants because he's digging hard for it. So it is the Man in Black that you're going to go. He's already got his Brayton loaded up with 2 summons there as well. I wonder if he's got a third backup to play here so he can get that Man in Black on curve next turn. Really nice card for this matchup. Morgan wanting to do some party attack shenanigans.
Get Man in Black up?
Yeah, let's get Man in Black up. Talk about this card on stream earlier. Okay, so a bit of tech issues here, so just trying to get that Man in Black.
That is Fat Thumbs going at it.
No, it's not that.
Yeah. I'm looking at the wrong one entirely.
Okay. Just in time, the Man in Black's going to come up, just in time for us to miss all the action. So it looks like we haven't missed too much, so Morgan has just put down the Tifa, so probably got back Cloud there. He's now
going
all in, so he's got his Avalanche Operatives online.
No Barret.
Reduce cost, so no way of giving them haste. So I can see Sam's got that Chaos in hand, the one that is 11 CP Dark one that gets reduced, but not really going to get reduced by too much in this matchup, especially with Billy Bob not hitting the field. She's going to be dead card right now, so
it's crazy seeing the prevalence of that Chaos with the fact that Warrior Light or watching it steal a Yuffie. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So paying 5 here. I wonder if he's just going to play the Man in Black.
He's
playing the Chaos.
Not a lot of good targets.
So he has paid 7 for it, so I missed it. That.
Probably the best thing here to give up would be the Tifa.
I think so, because you can just because your opponent selects. I feel like you want to go with the Tifa because then the other 2 are the ones that have party attack triggers. I wonder if he's got an Arc lock and loaded in his hand as well to go with this, which is why he's been so cavalier in getting this card down. I'll be surprised if he hasn't.
Oh, he looks like he may have played the Arc as well.
So he's already played the Arc.
So he got rid of the
Tifa. On the stack.
I think that's all she wrote at this point.
Yeah,
feels pretty bad.
Feels pretty bad. So Yeah, probably definitely worth that investment because you've made Morgan discard the rest of his hand. So he's now in top deck mode off one backup, and literally it's just a draw and pass. Yikes.
And with the way that Win can bring back summons, that arc's going to come down again. And
I think we're seeing 5 CP here. We've got Man in Black now.
Yeah.
So Man in Black comes
picks
down
the
now.
arc. Yeah, there
Takes
we go.
the arc. It's just
Casts it for
free
free.
cards.
Oh, horrible.
Blech.
Grim. I mean,
And there's the Amaterasu, but he couldn't
and
even
he
play
couldn't
it.
even cast the Amaterasu and I hope that he saw the X-Burst Billy Bob. So Morgan, take over damage here.
Is that Barrett
Feels
gone?
like a bit of a long way back for our hero here. I think Morgan is going to be in trouble. Thing is, you got to pass right. You got 2 cards in hand. Just like Man in Black's just going to attack, remove arc.
There's
So
Bosch.
now you can't even play any forwards.
No.
And there's Wedge.
You need, if you're Morgan, you basically need a Shantoto here.
I know he's running Earth, but I'm not even sure if he is running Shantato though.
So good pitch to.
I mean, it's a valiant effort.
Yeah.
Getting him Cloud back, but he can't play the Cloud.
2 guys in hand, handshake and bound. I
Yeah.
think.
Okay.
Play that Noctis.
And then there goes the
Yeah,
arc.
recast the arc, discard
this-
these 2 empty cards. That
This
was
feels like a mercy killing.
good. Yeah.
I don't think there's much mercy going on here.
No.
There is no mercy. And that's game.
Wow.
Okay, that was a quick one. Yeah,
I
can
am
see
stunned.
Sam chuckling. Sam is chuckling.
That's just
surprised.
cruel, bro.
So we don't condone bullying in this household. We'll see if he wants to get on stream. That was quite a quick round. Maybe we'll do a little bonus game if we can squeeze one in. We'll see.
Well, yeah.
Why
Fish,
not?
should we
There's
jump on
one.
for a quick?
Yeah,
quick
sure.
handoff?
Let's
we
see
can
if
give it a
Sam
go.
wants to come on and do an interview. But guys, we'll be back with you shortly. Stay tuned. Sorry for that background noise, guys, but we are back. We've got Sam with us. Sam, very happy buddy with how that went. Talk us through your thoughts on that game.
It was a bit unfortunate, really. It was Morgan's first time on stream, so I wanted him to have like a game he could look back on and actually like get some information from. And then I drew my opening hand and went, "Oh dear."
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah, so like, I knew what he was on, but I like to play as if I don't, so I keep a hand in the blind, basically. And the hand is fine. It was a bit of a stumble, and then on turn 1 he reveals he's an Avalanche, shows me a dual colour.
Sure.
I'm like, okay, we're with Chaos. I just need him to play a second element, and then I can kind of lock the game out there.
And so, did you have the Arc Chaos in hand to start? Did you draw into
Yeah, I wasn't
it, or-
sure on the on how the camera angle works. So going forward, if I'm on streams, I'll show it to the stream and make it a bit easier.
We could pick out a few things. I think we had
Yeah.
a lot of shenanigans trying to get cards up.
Yeah, the opening hand was basically a backup Chaos Arc. Like Ixion and just stuff like that. So it was like a backup and Chaos and Arc, and like, well, I can't discard Chaos Arc, so that's kind of the plan for this turn.
Yeah.
I hope he plays into it. If he like goes full on aggro, I may struggle a bit.
Yeah.
And then when he sort of turn 1 play a backup pass, I'm like, oh dear.
Yeah.
This is going to be slightly unfortunate.
Yeah, and I think we said this as well on the chat, was that he then did go wide, but not having that Barrett down. None of those guys having haste. Like he basically built this board and was like, just open the door for you to disassemble it. And yeah, so the second you were like paying 7 for that Chaos, he's got to have the Arc in hand, like, because originally we thought, oh, he's going to be the Man in Black here. We couldn't really see the other Chaos Arc. And the game's just over at that point. You've already searched the Man in Black, being able to just recur that card over and over again.
It was. I had a Lulu in hand at that point as well, but I was pretty sure that there's, off the top of my head, the only thing that gets him out of that is a Toto. And once I've emptied his hand out and he has 2 backups, or 1 backup, he's just not casting it.
And we said that as well. There was that turn where he drew 2 pass, and I was like, now he's playing to his own out, which is Shantoto. He's got to hope that he draws the next time. And basically, you now run this game of you draw it, fine, you're back in the game, but you're not even like you're just back in the game. You're just like then even if he does that, he ends empty-handed, and he's got 2 backups. You've already got 2 backups and the cards whatever you draw. So it would be an uphill battle even though you had drawn it. So how have you found the Storm? So I know you're running a different Storm list. A lot of other people with like the Wind Lightning variant, but you added in the Chaos Arc into that.
Yeah.
How have you found that? How has that changed the dynamic of the way the deck plays?
So, as you said, I've been testing just various different Wind decks. I love Wind. Wind is my favourite element. If I can play it, I'm a happy boy. I eventually didn't go. I went off it for the Materia Cup, but now I took a couple weeks to just sort of refresh and rejuvenate after a long tournament. I've been trying Wind Lightning beforehand, and I discarded the deck about 3 days before the tournament for an FF6 deck, which is what I ended up playing. The reason being was FF6 destroys aggro lists because you get to run Ixions, Man in Blacks, Lulus, you have Seymours to make sure they're on the top of your deck, you can stack Odins, like it's just very strong in that regard. But then the issue was that Wind was always uniquely strong against Soiree. That was always one of its strengths, was that you just kind of always won that matchup through recursion and value. And the builds that were running around here, I couldn't beat.
Sure, and a lot of people here are the Yuffie builds.
Yeah.
I know you were in your previous Wind Lightning build, you were running Yuffie. I mean, the game was over so quick, we didn't even get a chance. Are you still running that card?
I am not.
Yeah, so is that what you've swapped out for the Chaos Arc package? Or?
It's actually not much of a Storm deck. It has some cards, like Hazardans, but that's because Hazardan is just a great card. The Storm aspects are relevant. It's got no Lusos, no Roses, no anything like that. It is currently, it's the 3 Chaos, 3 Arc. It's heavy. And I do want to tinker with numbers, not those numbers, but I want to tinker with more ways to put them back in the deck. Because I have struggled a bit today sometimes with drawing too many of one or too little of the other. But it is the case where when you get both, you just get to do what I just did there.
And are you running this? Because I've seen a few Lightning lists that run the Arc Chaos Packet with the Cisne that lets you discard. Have you tried that? Have you thought about it?
I haven't thought about it. Currently, the ways to remove it from my hand is the Waltraw backup in Wind. Because it's a backup that you want to search anyway off Nostal, and it's pretty good. And it routinely allows you to keep getting rid of it.
Fixes things. And
the summons, I kind of, when I start with a list, I play a lot of one-offs that are searchable to work out what I'm searching for and what I'm never casting. And then the testing today, I've worked out there's a bunch of cards in there that need to go. So I was running one of, it was on stream, it was one of the new Ramu, the one if you play Lightning Forward you get to play
I think you discard it first if you're back.
Card's bad, don't play it. The other 3 CP Ramu, the one with multi-choices, like break monsters and stuff, most of the monsters, like, it's only good against mono water, but I think you're good in that matchup anyway. You don't get to Chaos Arc them as easily.
I guess it's kind of good in the Wind matchup as well. A few people on Ice Wind today.
It's not terrible this, so I don't hate it maybe, but like the other Ramu's not good. The 5 CP Odin is okay in theory, but I'd rather have more draw. Than reactive. Like, I'm running the 3 of Wind Lightning Clouds. That basically deals with most average boards. It kills a bunch of stuff and it's easy to cast. I'm going to up the Asura count and the 1 CP Chocobo. As your combo deck, I think the more way you can get through your deck and get through it and just look for the pieces you're looking for, basically.
Awesome. Well, it's awesome to have you on stream. Great for everyone except for card name Morgan, who did not have a good time with that. So thanks for chatting to us and good luck in the last games. Cool. Chat, we will maybe, hopefully, looking up, we're going to be giving you a little bonus round. So stay tuned. We'll be back with you in a couple of seconds. Okay, chat. So we have got a bonus round. So having had 3 commentators for the last round, I've now whittled down to just the one commentator. So it's me on now. I've got Paul and Fish doing a little bonus game. Having just said I was going to be commentating by myself, Cloutman is walking past and I've grabbed him by the scruff of the neck, I've sat him down and he's going to help me with the commentary. So bonus round here, we got Fish playing against Paul. Fish playing Mono Water. I don't know if Paul's just playing, I think he might be playing his new Turks deck with a spicy extra card, which hopefully we'll see later. Let's see how this thing pan out then.
Looks like Turks from here.
Yeah, so I think he's Turks. So I think he's running this new 10 CP Garuda.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. I think he's using it with that Cisne that lets you discard. So Fish doing mono water things, getting down that Una, curving into the Waka, and then getting the Yargrosh. I don't know if it's particularly helpful in this matchup, but it's just nice to get to 3.
Against Lightning, Yargrosh won't have much effect.
So I'm pretty sure the Reno just says delve forwards. So I feel like we'll probably see he's got rid of Thornton. Was like, actually, Thornton's a really nice curve next time, we better keep hold of it.
Better keep hold of the Thornton always.
Yeah, absolutely. So Paul, let's see what he's got. So he's going with the Rufus. So I was going to say he must have had some sort of engine if he's going with the Rufus card, which is a nice little draw. So he's got the Afmal. So
going for the Offjang and Yang.
Yeah, I wonder if he's running the forward of either of them. No, he's running the double backup. So it's a nice way. And this is kind of what Mono Lightning needed as like a backup package, but at the same time,
he had one in hand.
At the same time, I don't know if hasn't been enough to get Mono Lightning kind of back in the thick of things. I think Fish is running a bit of a slightly different Mono Water Bill. I think he may be running Crystals. I think you can see an Oracle on his hand or a Realm, the one that bounces a forward back to hand when you do gain a Crystal.
I played Fish semi recently and he was running the Crystal Generator variant of Mono Water, but I don't know if he's stuck with it.
Sure, yeah. And was he running the glass? I'm assuming he's running the Glaciella in that with it as well as the Crystal.
When he was running the Crystals, he was running Glaciella. Yeah. There's no way you don't.
Yeah. Right, Thornton is so good, be able to grab any card, getting that Sildra.
Thornton into Sildra straight away.
Now he can just do whatever he wants with his deck. Afmal, right, flip me an Ash. Oh, it's a Glaciella.
It's a Glaciella as well.
No!
Poor Fish.
That's fine. It's actually not the end of the world because you can just see a new copy using your Sildra. And then Paul just playing down the Offjang, the one that I think lets you get back a 2 CP forward from your breaks. And I think he discarded the Alina Turk and just grabbed it straight back again. And here comes that Sildra. I wonder if we see probably maybe a... I don't know if he's running Geomancer. I was going to say a Geomancer, but I don't know if he's running it. So he's getting the Ash as a kill spell. You definitely... Echidna's a great shout here because it just gets you that Sildra and you're just cycling through.
Echidna's brilliant shout from that. The Ash, though, I'm not so sure on the Ash.
I think the Ash is okay because you kind of hold it up your sleeve for if Paul ever puts anything worrying down, or it's just going to slap it down now.
Nope,
that's fine. I feel like that's fine. A 1 CB9, I'm never going to complain about a 1 CB9K.
No, you
don't. It removes your forward. Okay. Well, Paul could be playing, if he's got another Afmal, that'd be a nice little way of returning the value back in his favour.
This is when the Garuda's in hand.
We know he's got Alina in hand. He may well have the Garuda in hand. I think he has got... so he's just going to hard cast the Odin for 4. So I assume he's got 2... Yeah, he's got 2 Odins in break zone. So hard cast the Odin for 4. I imagine he's got some sort of other thing to play out of his hand. That's why he left 2 backups up.
Mind Flayer! Oh, this could be interesting.
Fish, you dirty, dirty boy.
Oh.
Playing Mind Flayer, I love it. Okay, so that's the Cissnei I was talking about. This is the one that we mentioned briefly with Sam, actually, just in interviews before.
I think he's just straight removed it.
So this is the card that when you play it onto the field, you can discard a card from hand and you deal something 1k for each CP card required to cast it. I guess it's quite a nice card in Fish's Day if you play it, if you've got a Leviathan in hand, but Paul having no forwards on board to do anything like that. And so
Paul's biggest forward probably is going to be that the CP of Garuda.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else big in Lightning.
I think in this deck especially, okay, so he's using the Acidic Clan Gully to get back a Lightning character back from Breakthrough, so he gets the Rufus. Rufus is nice to get down there because then you can just start searching out Reno and Rude. So he's going to get the Reno probably for the S effects. He's got the backup down, and I think he's playing the 3 CP forward Rude. Actually, I think it's. Oh yeah, I think it's job member Turks. I think he's got the Sung back. So he has got the Sung back, which is the one that when he plays onto the field, he can go flip top 5 cards, look for some Turks. I feel like if you Fish, you're not too worried right now. You're at 5 backups. You've got a handful of cards. You've got a Tombury on board. You've now got a Kidney. It's gonna
get the Mind Flayer back. Yes, I love this.
He doesn't even want to get the Silja. He doesn't even want to get the Silja. He just wants to play with Paul. He's playing. You can't see this chat, but Fish has just picked up those two cards. Looked at them. His eyes have gone wide, and he puffed his cheeks out. Obviously, picked up 2 dead things. Fish, that serves you right for trying to do cool things like with Mind Flayer. Should have got the Silja. So it looks like he got a Lena and something else.
I was actually talking to Fish about this the other week, getting a deck where you can replay Mind Flayer as many times as you can.
Yeah.
Just to mill through your opponent running that in a wind. I think it was a wind water deck.
I think the best place for it probably is an earth water where you run board wipes, and you can also run that new Kefka as well.
Oh, that new Kefka.
Yeah, and use that to play your Mind Flayers for very soon.
You can also do that with Realm as well. Realm allows it to play for free.
Yeah. Problem with the current meta, it says you play Mind Flayer, there's so many like varied decks in there that if you start grabbing Soirees, they are dead cards to you. But then if you play against other things, you might grab someone's Chaos or someone's Arc, which is
useless for you, but it can also stop them.
Yeah.
Especially if you just leave it removed. That is the other upside to Mind Flayer.
There goes
that one into the break?
Mind Flayer.
There goes another one.
You know, Fish, if that was a full out Mind Flayer, wouldn't have hit damage. I'm just saying. I've got 2 for trade, hit me up. Cool, so
I had one, traded it away to Liam, I believe, who traded it to Fish.
Nice, going full circle. So Paul getting down the Warrior of Light. This is the one that you can sack. So it gets big depending on how many other forwards you've got, and you can sack it to give your forwards indestructible, I believe.
Which is quite useful.
I wonder if he's comboing that with this 10 CB Garuda and using that to try and wipe boards but keep everything alive. Yeah, Atomus comes down. I think you get rid of your Rufus here because you can just play it again to search out something good that you want.
Oh, all day, every day.
So what else have we got here? Nice card from Fish there. The
Lightning, less than 3 forwards.
Remove something from the game.
If he's got the Lightning in hand, S effect, but then there's no target.
I don't think you need to. I think you can do that next turn on the block or something. He's still got a full hand.
I'm fully expecting to see 7 monsters here.
Yeah, and this is the power of Mono Water, is that, you know, Fish not running the typical build with the 1 CP backups and things like that, but you still just get so much value in a lot of your cards. A lot of them are replacing themselves. The Tomburies, the Echidnas, you're getting those draws in one way or another. So here we go. That's that Cissnei coming down. So when this descends, he's discarding it. So discarding the Reno. That does 2k, but because it's a job member Turk, it does an extra 5 because there's 7k to Lightning. And then,
Ash into the break, into the damage. You poor man right there, Paul.
Oh,
that also makes Lightning's S effect useless.
Yeah. No, because he hasn't got they're all his monsters. That is, although it looks like a War of Light on the field, that's actually a card in Fish's hand, I think, that he's left there. And that is the Lightning. So it is going to get a remove from game here because it's 2 falls to 1. So I feel like the Cisne doesn't do anything, but at the same time, you don't really want him playing a new song because that's the one that gets allows him to do. And Fish just top decks an Ash.
Oh my god.
Lovely. And he's got the Lena there as well. He's got Ash, Lena, I'm pretty sure it's Glaciella as well. I think Fish is feeling.
I don't think we've seen a Leviathan Lord of the World though.
There is one in break,
in there.
so we can do that. But I don't think he needs to now. I think he can. Odin. Non-EX burst Odin. Someone get that man a Sharpie, right? EX burst on that guy.
That's a poor damage over pool right there.
So I think you can just Tross here because your Tross is going to be online. If Fish really wanted to, you could probably play the Glaciella on curve. I guess he's worried about removal on it. You don't mind taking a little bit more damage. Because next turn you've got 5 attackers as it stands. See, I think playing the Glaciella would have been okay because you could have played it on curve and you then threaten lethal because it makes you have 6 attackers. Whereas now you're not really threatening on your lethal. Ash probably comes down and removes his power. I guess on the stack you make something indestructible.
Yeah.
Means absolutely jacked. Because you're probably going to bounce it with the Tross. So, okay, he's going to start just attacking with some Tomberries. Hoping he doesn't hit. There's that Garuda we were talking about.
First one,
Garuda isn't, Garuda isn't a great card in this matchup anyway because a lot of Fish's stuff is monsters and it breaks all forwards. So he's going to do the Tross, he's going to bounce it, he's going to get the draw. Has he got a summon? I think I can see a Thordan in there. We know he's got the Glaciella. He's got another Tomberry to attack if he wants to, but I don't think it makes any difference, that extra Tomberry attacking right now. The difference between putting Paul at 4 and 5 damage for Fish's perspective doesn't really get him any closer because he's still got enough forwards next turn. What it does do is it stops Paul getting his 5 CP Odins cheap. So that time comes down after being bounced.
It stops keeping him at 4 when you're this close to lethal is better than putting him to 5, especially with the fact that a lot of card users have 5 damage triggers.
Yeah. So hits one target, gets the end back to hand, and plays the Rude off the Sun, which he obviously had in his hand, and then he plays the Alina as well. So he's starting to put his Turks.
Tomberry will act as a nice blocker here from next turn.
Yeah, I think the Alina has haste.
Alina has haste, yes.
Yeah, and it's dulling the Ash. Fish just happy to take the damage, go to 5. Paul's got 4 in hand maybe. I think we could, let's update the damage. I haven't been very good at that. That's what happens when my partner in crime abandons me to go play on stream. got no one tech savvy enough to keep the scoreboard ticking over. Okay, so the Odin's going to come in now, kill the lightning. And I didn't see... I felt like he got rid of 2 cards, but I think Fish tried to S effect on the stack. He didn't cancel it, he just killed it, so it doesn't go off. I feel like a Lena Leviathan handshake.
There's Lerner. This is when Fish is miscounted.
Oh, don't bring that up. I hate to call you about this, but my boy Sammy nearly got the win last round off stream. And bottled it. He only had 12 water cards in break, including the Leviathan.
He did it to me earlier, round 3 today. He had 12, including Leviathan.
And he thought he had it, and then ended up losing that game. We need to get Sammy on stream at some point.
We do. Sammy's deck is great.
Sammy's deck is great, and also he is unbeaten in stream games, 2-0. Which is a great record to have, unbeaten on stream, but as I quite rightly said to Sammy, you've got to get yourself on stream first to keep it going.
Yep.
We'll get him up here. I believe in you, Sammy. Your day will come. Alrighty, so it looks like he's now choosing targets for Leviathan, so looks like he's probably bouncing the Rude and
a backup.
He hasn't chosen a backup. I think probably the Reno, because it does stuff, and then 2
9K to the pair of them.
And then
that should be the handshake.
I think Ash's going to come in. Even if it's an Odin, doesn't matter. Gets the draw for Tross. Got absolute gas in his hand. Tommy's going to come in, take away damage. He's probably thinking, screw it, I've got an Odin the next thing. Cicely comes down.
There's an Animus in hand as well.
He's just discarding Leonard.
There we go. There's the handshake.
So, Fish coming back. Cool to see Paul's deck. Really interesting Mono Lightning deck. Shame we didn't get to see the Cicely Garuda thing go off.
It's a really good premise as well. I think, given a few more games and a few more bits of testing, Paul can whack that out whenever he wants.
I think it's a bit of fun. I think you catch some people off guards. Cool. So that's a bit of bonus action for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We have one more round, I believe. We should have 2 XOs going to this final round.
We do have 2 XOs.
So stay tuned, guys. We'll be back with the final round shortly. Bye. So guys, standings up on the screen for you here, so we are now going into the final round. As you can see, our 2 XOs, Alex and Reese. Reese, back on stream, we're going to bring you this final game now. Fish, talk me through the matchup.
Well, first of all, I feel like you brought in some riffraff while I was away from my little friendly game, but no, we're good.
No, Cloudman did alright.
So, we are bringing you an Ice Wind Mirror match. Hold on to your seats, everyone. I'm joking, no, it's going to be great fun.
Yeah, it's great. It was how I did miss you, Fish. I was lost. I was lost without you. I could. The scoreboard was all over the place. It was
I can't keep up with it myself.
Yeah. So it looks like we've got Alex on the left, Reese on the right. I think we're about to play a game of who sees Zidane first. Reese going with the poker dice, going for the high roll.
Beaten by 1. That's what you get for using Vegas dice, I guess.
That's what you
So, who's your bet on who's going to get the Zidane first?
Well, let's look at opening hands. I think Alex has got a Zidane in his opening hand, but I think he's got no backups. He's got a Thomas, he's got a Jacobo.
Can't see what.
He's got an Alexander. Yeah, he's got a Pavlov. He's got one backup, but it's Pavlov.
Just for everyone watching, I did a full-on physical lean to try and see if I could see Reese's hand. We'll ignore that fact.
How'd it go for you?
It worked brilliantly.
Mrs. Reese back in chat, giving love for her husband. So I feel like we just go Pavlov and then
reactivate off the Atmos trigger for what it's worth. Early days.
I feel like if he had any card other than Jacobo, he maybe just plays the Zidane there. There's a bit of a waste to go to do 2 casts and then not use that. I think what Alex would really wanted to have seen would have been like a second.
Yeah, you feel like you could have stripped some really good stuff straight off the bat.
Because it doesn't matter if you're empty-handed, because your hand starts filling up with the cards from Reese's deck. Like you know, like you're playing the mirror. Like you're playing the mirror, so like you know you're gonna be ripping cards. They're gonna be helping you out. So.
Well, we've already got Steve D with us. Hey, bro.
Hey, Steve. Good to have you with us. Thanks for joining the chat.
And yes, sussy indeed.
Very sus. I think just win dice, playing win dice in the final round is just sus. That is sus shenanigans. Okay, so Norstalin, we're getting out here. I wonder if he's already got some form of ICP, if he's got the you can handle something. So he's passing here, so you know. Okay, so nice little draw, but you're going to play the Althea. The problem is it's just going to untap 1. Doesn't really make you any.
Yeah, he's never. I feel like you're right.
Yeah.
You play that Zidane turn.
I completely agree with Steve. Literally before the game started, I said this is a game of who gets Zidane down first, and I think Zidane Jacobo Zidane is so strong. Again,
And when you know you've got Lulu in your back pocket at any time, even you could pull your opponent's Lulu and you'd be sitting pretty anyway. So
because you're getting draws off the Chocobo, and you're getting all these cards out of Reese's hand. And if you can rip Reese's Zidane before he gets there, then you're laughing. Okay.
Pretty subdued though from both.
Neither of them got any sort of ice CP online yet. I know they're both running quite classically low ice numbers, as wind ice decks normally are, quite heavy on the wind.
That's why it feels like it's quite strange for Reese not to go for the Uke early as well, I suppose, off of the Nostalum, but I guess he figures having the Althea early is his best bet. But
Steve giving me absolute PTSD, bringing up Mion in the chat. None of that, mate.
None
of that.
Will you? None of it.
We'll not have that. Don't taint our chat with words such as Mion. Glad to see the back of that card. Yeah, can you imagine if Mion and Zidane were
It's bad enough Zidane exists. That already gives me PTSD.
Yeah, this is nice. Getting the lockdown, breaking that Atomos, trying to get back ahead. I feel like you don't freeze. You're just trying to get yourself.
You've got to think that not playing the turn when Zidane is really hurting Alex.
Yeah, and I think he's now missed the boat for it, right? Because if he tries to, he can't. He's got not enough cards in hand to try and get a 3-card for them. I mean, if he does, there's now a lock standing in there in the way, so he can't even get the attack in. And then he just passes. Yeah. So having hands.
But then again, we have also seen how quickly that this matchup can turn on its head.
I think
we've also seen Reese bully everyone with a lock tonight, so there's also that.
Yeah, I think a Sid Hayes or something would be good, but I think it's a bit. Okay. I think you want to get some ice back online, so now you can play your Sid.
Oh, just stop it. Just behave.
Absolutely.
Now, how badly are you wishing you got to play that Zidane right now if you're Alex?
I know. Yeah. Alrighty. Looks like Alex has got a Sid Hayes of his own here, but he's got no ICP. He hasn't drawn any ICP off the top. He's got a Typhon Lulu. I feel like now is your window. You got to try and get Zidane down now.
The problem the Althea is up. I mean, it's not going to be easy to get rid of, no matter what Alex tries here. And with obviously knowing that Sid is in his hand, that's coming down even cheaper.
Yeah, I feel like you've got to try and get your own Zidane down now. Especially, I don't know if he's got any backups in his hand. I know he's got the Typhon, he's got the Lulu, he's got a Sid Hayes, he's got a Zidane, and I think he's got a Chocobo Summon. So you want to try and keep up on value because Reese has got an extra backup and he's got the Everett giving him more value as well. So
it feels like, since he's sort of limited on his backups as well, the loss of that Atmos from early is almost crippling.
Yeah. So I feel like we've got to hopefully try and see a Zidane turn now.
Yeah, okay, trying off the Lulu effect, force the Althea perhaps?
How's he casted that side? He's tapped Althea, but he's tapped Althea. I don't know why though, because two cards in hand for Reese.
And we know one is Sid.
Yeah, one is Sid. Yeah, so I think maybe I feel like you have the I think he's trying to hold out to see if he can do the Alexander. And I think it's worked out that he's not going to be able to get it as a 4th cost. So
he's trying to get the lock. I think we see the Althea play here.
Force the Althea out. Which you don't mind if you Reese, because you're going to be playing Sid Hayes next turn, and then you can go Althea, Sid Hayes, and then pay 2 for lock. And the Althea and the Everett will let you put it on curve. It's just
now we're seeing a Zidane.
Okay, so nice getting some removal, but I think nice cards to hit, but yes.
I'm speechless. Fully speechless.
Zidane for Zidane.
But does it really matter? We know we're seeing Althea come down, probably playing the Sid Hayes, play the lock again, and Alex Zidane is probably never going to attack again.
Yeah, I think I believe Alex, as nice hits as those two summons are, I think you're probably hoping you can see him back up there. So Sid Hayes coming down, every untapping. I feel like he's going to play the Althea untap one.
Needs the ICP for lock, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But
so using the reduced cost on the Althea.
I suppose the wariness you've got now is obviously with the Zidane pulls that Alex managed to get. Obviously, he does have the Dryad.
Yeah, I think if Reese could have done this the other way around, I think he wouldn't have had to discard a card for the lock. So he went Sid Hayes, Althea, and then lock, getting the reduction. But I think if he'd played Althea and then untapped, he would have discarded one. If he played, I guess it's the same. I guess it is the same.
It is late on a Thursday night to be trying to do math there, Jacko.
I know, it's been a long day at work. I don't know why I put myself through that pain. This is why I don't play Wind Dice, man.
Oh, mate. It's too much. Again, I'm still voting for us getting an actual counter we can see on screen. I know we can counter ourselves as adults, but...
So, third cast, Luso. Just get the draw.
Yeah, so he's going to cast the Dryad, take out the Sid. It had to be done, I think, if he wants to keep the Zidane attacking.
Yep, absolutely. And at this point, Alex needs the Zidane to be attacking because he needs to get... but the thing is, by doing that as well, it's not just that he stops the Sid Hayes, but also now, if Reese wants to play lock, he's only going to get Dull Freeze effects. There's nothing to discard, there's no monsters to break. So it's not too bad. I think it's as good as it can get for Alex with regards to the things have been going.
Thank you, Steve. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I think for those who weren't here earlier, shout out to Paul, who's put in a lot of hard work. There's some sick transition animations. Hopefully you guys have been seeing that as you've been going through.
They even gave us nameplates.
They even gave us nameplates. I wouldn't have given myself a nameplate.
No, I wouldn't have thought of that. And again, for you guys at home who can't want to watch the stream, we'll be chopping up into chunks for rounds, chucking up on YouTube, so you'll get to see this again if you want to.
Tell all your friends, spread the news, going onto YouTube, drip feeding these games until we're back. And you know what? We do it all again next week.
Oh yeah, baby.
So that's the plan. We're hoping to try and keep this going. Try and keep it going once every week. I think.
Who could ask for more than Final Fantasy Fight Night?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so this is nice. So using the Chocobo, not only he's drawn an ice card. No. I can see a sly smile on Alex's face there. I was about to say this is really nice because now he gets a Zidane and he can still attack with Zidane because he has done the power reduction on the lock, except for if you draw an ice card.
Yeah. That's the way the cookie crumbles, though. Yeah.
As Paul McAvoy would say, not enough main character energy.
Yeah, skill issue when you don't draw the best things, you know?
Yeah.
But you've got to think, at this point, if he sees his own Sid Hayes, though, then we could see some explosive plays. He'll have a few cards in hand.
And he has got the ice backup down now. He can play the Sid Hayes on curve. Let's see what response Reese has here. I feel like if you're Reese, you're in the strong. I feel like I'm in the slightly stronger position if I'm Reese. Just because you've got the extra value on that Evray, you've got the Althea down and online. You know that Zidane's in hand, so you kind of want to leave something up as a blocker. Offer up the trade with the Lulu reductions. Okay, so it's going to go with the... That's a nice thing to hit, because you don't want... Chocobo Zidane next turn would have been pretty tasty.
Was that the third Chocobo for Zidane? For Alex,
I don't think it is, because I think one of the Chocobos he casted was stolen off Reese.
No, I'm pretty sure he discarded...
Oh, did he?
I think he may have discarded
one. He definitely had
one
in his opening hand. It's definitely, at the very least, it's his second one. He did steal one off Reese. So Simple Luna coming down, getting better at Sid Hayes. That card is going to be really crucial as this game continues to unfold. Using the Everett to untap the Althea just so you got something up your sleeve. So Alex has got ways of getting his cast count up with the Chocobo that he's just drawn.
Here we go.
I think he wants to be sitting in Sid Hayes here. I mean, Azana's not bad.
But, I mean, you've seen a lot of Chocobos. I suppose you can go digging for the one-cost one again.
I think we've only seen one or two of that one-cost Chocobo, so you can do stuff with that.
Might think that might be Alex's first on that.
Yeah. So, I wonder... The problem with this Yeek is he kind of wants to be able to, like, play the Azana and then play the Zidane by discarding from hand, but the card you want to get rid of is the Uke, and you can't because you kind of blocked that CP for you. So Ash, this is cast number 2, so it's just going to bin the Azana, get the Zidane.
Here we go.
Rip's ain't good.
And Alexander.
That's not bad. It would be his 4th cast as well, so if he's... But the thing is he can't cast it.
Chocobo Sam? Yeah.
He can't cast it because I think the last card he's had is the Uke, like we said, so can't Uke coming back and causing him all sorts of havoc. Nice. It's X-Burst.
But Cad and
only
his
one
2
target.
Summons,
Only one target. Only one target, he says. It's freaking Lulu.
Yeah.
So, irrelevant as only one target. Doesn't matter if it's a sick target.
I now have access to all of my summons. What are you going to do?
Yeah, so Ash get the draw. So 2 in hand. I think Reese is got 2 drawing up as well. I still think I'm slightly happy if I'm Reese. You've got that extra backup. You've got 4 in hand to play with now.
You've got to think though that Alex is very close to being able to go off you with those extra cards hit off the top of Reese's deck.
Yeah. Still no Zidanes for Reese. Obviously, you lost that one to damage. We're going to probably see the Sid Hayes coming down here, so I wonder what he's got to combo off with it. So we know he's got the Lulu, so probably see maybe a 1 CP Lulu here. And then targets wise, he's now got that 2 CP Chocobo back in his break zone after Alex very kindly gave it back to him having cast it earlier. So,
and you've got maybe think that Locke might be the target for that if he goes that route.
Yeah. I think you get the Chocobo, or you can get the Dryad and have it up your sleeve if Alex tries to play his own Sid Hayes to get himself back in the game. So how long I'll think about this. He's got a few options. He's got the Azura as another target. Luso already on board. I don't think he's got a Zidane in break zone. Can't remember.
Real edge of your seat stuff here, folks.
As wind ice mirrors normally are.
Yeah. Lulu, as you said. So what's he go for here? I think he's going to go the Chocobo.
I think Chocobo is a good Chocobo because you've got the pieces you want on board. You got the lock and stuff. So being able to.
And he's yet to use Everett.
He's yet to use Everett, so you can easily. You can easily do a Chocobo on the lock. So Chocobo now, I think he's targeting the lock. So Alex having a think here. I don't think he's got an answer there because he's got Uke and Lulu as his 2 cards in hand. I guess he could cast Alexander, but he'd have, I don't think it's worth it. So, okay, I did the Luso. So that is his 3rd cast.
I'm glad you're keeping track of this. Again, Wind, you could just tell me you've played some cards and I'll just...
I'm pretty sure that's his 3rd cast. He's gone Sid Hayes, Lulu, Chocobo. Plays 1 for the Luso, gets the draw. Okay,
he's got Alexander. So it's going to be a 2 draw. I think. Yeah.
So that's 4. So you can go Luso 5, Althea bounce, play Althea again 6, play Luso 7. So it's quite easy to do here. He's going to use the Azura though to activate his backups. 5k reduction on the Lulu, irrelevant right now. Melvian just for icing on the cake, I feel at this point. really just hammering home his advantage, really making it difficult that if he is going to, for Alex to come back from what is going to be an inevitable 7-cast Luso.
This is where he pulls the wool over our eyes and gives us the old Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope, and it'll be great.
Yeah. Okay. They all die. I draw a card. I've now got... So... I don't think he has any attackers this turn.
No, the lock can go in.
No, no, sorry, I thought he was going to Jacob with the lock, but he didn't. He Jacob with the Luso, so the lock can go in, right. Yeah, Sid Hayes, but the thing is, Reese and Sid Hayes has gone off now, so Alex has nothing to play with.
Yeah.
He might as well have nothing on board.
And when your backups are down, like what? Did he get rid of the Uke in hand?
No, he's still got Uke in hand.
So he can still play the Sid
He
Hayes.
can still play the Sid Hayes. He's got a Lulu as well. Can he do enough with the Sid Hayes Lulu? I don't know. Summons wise, I don't think he's got enough in there. He has drawn a Luso, but I still don't think he's got enough. If he's got an Azura, he can go Sid Hayes, Lulu, Azura. But the problem is you're having to discard to pay for every one of those, because you got to discard 2 for the Sid Hayes, 1 for the Lulu, and 1 for the Azura. So it just doesn't give you enough stuff to continue that train. Yeah, Steve's saying he's running the Realm Icewind. I saw a few different Icewind lists there. Yourself running the Realm. I knew a few others running. I think Jackie was on the list without the Realm. It's cool to see that deck. I think that the 2 deck format helps massively for Icewind. I think. That also wasn't. I wasn't surprised to see the deck doing well there. I think the deck is still in quite a good place. Interestingly, I think Melvin's OP. I think Melvin's gone through waves of people really liking it, people cutting it, and
it's almost like another renaissance of the Melvin. It's
yeah.
I was never a big fan when I was trying out the wind dice, but I can see its merits, especially when you're ahead like this and you're just getting ultimate value off it.
I was a fan, but that's because I had a full out one, so I had to.
Of course you were. Are you trying to offload that one as well?
Yeah, well, I don't really play in wind dice. Yeah, I'm actually just using the stream as a self plug for my new online store that I'm going to be building up.
Not actually happening, guys.
Not happening. Don't get your hopes up.
Signed by an ex-British champ. Just saying.
Oof, ouch. That hurts. This is the problem when you play Icewind Mirrors. Is it just ends up me and you just chatting rubbish on stream while people just
I'm not going to lie. I think all we've done is chat, all night, so it's fine.
Good. I like how you censored yourself there as well. Right, I think we're going to struggle to come back from this. I think if you're Alex, he's managed to get 3 casts off, but he's just he's having to double freeze forwards to keep himself in the game, and he's only got 1 hard in hand. So yeah.
And when you're still drawing your backups this late into the game, you're on the back foot.
I think if Reese just needs to get a 3-cast turn, which is pretty doable with Althea on board and a bunch of cards in hand.
Let's see Reese's Zidane, come on.
Yeah, game of reduction.
Atmos
isn't great to see now because it's not going to be your.
But he's going to take it.
He's going to take it. I don't think it's a bad shout because you are at damage 3, but it is your 2nd cast, so you don't get the reactivation. Which I think Reese paused for a second as he realised that, but I think it's not.
I mean,
it's not wrong. I think to take it.
Securing you a little bit of an advantage isn't always a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with Alex having none of his monsters on board after Lot coming down and getting rid of that Atomos right at the start of the game.
Get back the lock.
A resigned wave of the hand from Alex, 1 card in hand, can't really respond in any sort of way.
It's alright, bro, I feel you.
Yeah. So I'll probably see the Althea come down, activate. I don't think we've used Every yet.
Here comes the lock.
I wonder what else he's got in hand. If he's finally drawn a Zidane's really nice right now.
Yeah, get the Atmos out. First the cast. Let's just
play lock.
Now the lock for 2.
Yeah, discard the last card. Delphrey's your 2 things. Go to attack phase.
Let's go swinging.
Sid Hayes at Delphrey's 2 things.
Did anyone say swing party?
Yeah. So even with a lot coming down this turn, he's not going to be able to threaten lethal because he's only got 3 attackers. But Alex has got no cards in hand and 1 backup to play next turn.
You gotta think
this is probably Alex
gets a draw. Oh, there's those cards in hand. No, there goes the other Chocobo. That's the 3rd.
Yeah,
and
good point. Good point, Steve. Althea could have just reactivated the Melvin to swing for lethal. I think Reese's brain is programmed to be too efficient. He must do the most efficient CP plays.
He's been on the math train all night.
That's
folks.
why he. That's why I'm assuming that's why I went down that route. I've definitely been guilty of that. I once missed lethal against someone with 1 CP lightning.
So Peppermint, we're on round 5 of 5. So this is literally top table now to decide who takes it all. And sadly, it looks like Reese might be running. Well, I say sadly.
Not sadly for Peppermint, because I'm pretty sure that's his wife.
Yeah, but Reese looks like he's running away with this. Sadly for Alex. Doesn't look like there's going to be much he can do here. Oh, he's going to try Saddam once more.
It's Alexander. He's going to cast Alexander, see what he can get. Do a reduction. Lots of hand waving. He's drawn maybe a lock.
There's no way to play it.
Yep. Gonna get a couple of Del Freezes.
It just almost it seems like a futile, forlorn hope, so to speak.
Yep. So yeah, I think Alex. Trying to look back, I think differently. I think the Zidane at the start. I think getting it down earlier, I think would have been.
I think he would have taken that lock off of the table straight away.
Yeah.
It's okay, Peppermint. We understand your biasness. It's all right. We're trying to be impartial, but it does feel a little one-sided at this point. You just feel like he's for Alex to possibly hope that Reese doesn't cast 3.
It's just
there's so much value going on right now.
Yeah. And like all good win players, Reese is making him suffer by making him watch him do all these casts, knowing lethal is inbound.
Yeah,
and he's going to do it with his Zidane.
With a Zidane. The card we said that someone should have played early, but there we go.
Misplay. Azura should have gone to damage. That should have been stolen by Zidane. Game null and void.
Let us get back onto us then.
Yes. I think that was a successful first week streaming the locals, guys.
Bad.
I hope you guys enjoyed it.
We had 23 people in the brackets tonight.
That is pretty good going. That is good. Although, I must admit, that's also low for us.
It is. We were missing a few people tonight.
I mean, obviously us two not playing.
I forget about that. I got to get a friendly in, so...
You did, yeah. I got you on Shimmy's pool. That was good fun earlier.
But then I brought in Riff Raff, so...
no, it's all good fun. All good fun. So, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I think we'll see if... We've already spoken to Reese today. We'll see if he wants to come and do a final interview.
Don't know if we're going to get time, though, to be honest, because this place closes in 4 minutes.
Closing in T-4 minutes, so...
probably no more interviews.
I think we'll probably have to do a sign off there, guys. So thanks everyone that tuned in. Like I said, we're going to be posting these on YouTube, so catch up with everything you missed then. Also video of the day, I think, on Twitch.
And we'll be back next Thursday for another Final Fantasy Fight Night.
Same time next week. Hope to see you guys there. Thanks everyone that tuned in. It's goodbye from me.
Bye guys.
Catch you later.